closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hanson. I'm here with Dave Tuckman. It's Thursday night. We have kind of a special event. We have a birthday party going on at the table for...
Today is a birthday!
Yeah, lady Cheryl, who's in C5, and she's been on the show before, and she's kind of brought a bunch of her friends, her husband and her husband's friends, most of which are police officers, right?
Yeah, they're all either, like, I think CHP,
dispatch, police officers,
detectives.
And this is an $80 no-limit game. The blinds are 1 in 3.
Yes.
Everybody has almost 150 on the table, though, and we're going to use $1 chips for this game.
Exactly.
So let's head over to the table and let's get started.
Keep the action lively. Seat number 9's got aces. You want to just jump in there?
Sure. We'll get to the intro after this hand. Button has aces, and it looked like he limped on the button here, Dave. Eric has limped on the button after one limper, so we're going to see this.
Play a little tricky.
Yeah, this is always sometimes a problem. You even see it in the bigger games.
So they're all having a good time. It's a birthday party. They're all having fun. Obviously, none of these players are professional poker players. Recreational. This is pretty much a home game just brought to the casino.
Yeah, and you know, I really want to keep the show interactive tonight. If anybody has any questions that we don't normally get to, like long emails about
this would be a great
strategy, bankroll issues. I mean, we're obviously going to follow the game, but not as closely as we might in a bigger game.
Unfortunately, when people give us these great questions on like a Wednesday night or a Friday night, the game is so engaging we can't get to them. Tonight would be a perfect night to
bring anything to the table. And of course, we always will, like it when you might talk about something else besides poker as well, Dave.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hey, tell us about your favorite animal.
Right. The turn's an 8, and aces are still in the lead here. Tony made a call with a pair of 6s. And Eric is making mini bets. He's bet $5 now into about a $25 pot. And,
take it home, Eric. Hey, well, let's do an intro real quick.
Let's go.
Seat number 1, we've got Brian. Brian's sporting the old toothpick in the mouth look. Works for a policeman, I gotta tell you. Does. Exactly. Tony in number C2.
Steve Daneman look like? Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe like 10, 12 years younger.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Seat number 3, we've got Lee. Obviously, almost all these players are new to Live at the Bike. Seat number 4, we've got good old Ted.
Ted is Cheryl's wife, the birthday girl's husband. Excuse me.
Wow.
Great.
Now, I'm not sure. Now, when I was in nursery school, they gave us dolls. One had a penis, one had a vagina, and they kind of showed us the differences. Okay. Seat number 5 is Cheryl. There's our birthday girl. And
she's eating a bonbon.
No, she's eating a chocolate-covered cherry.
Oh, okay. Chocolate cherry cordial, I think that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
there you go. And she's our birthday girl, and I believe, is she 32, 33? I think she's 32 or 33, something like that.
Definitely a looker.
Seat number 6, we've got Sandra. And Sandra was actually on the show before. Call her Sandra, call her Sandra.
Was she really?
And she's been on the show before.
Okay.
She actually comes down with Cheryl once in a while. Seat number 7, we've got Claire. Claire wearing the Tokyo shirt. Seat number 8, we've got Thomas. And Thomas already asked me, he goes, can I curse on this show?
He said that to you?
He asked me, he goes, hey, can I use foul language? And I said, yeah, man, go ahead. You're right at home, please. No problem. Seat number 9, we've got Eric, and that was the Aces man. It should be a fun night, birthday night here. And you know what? I mean, the one thing that's kind of interesting is oftentimes you and I and a lot of players in these games get caught up with, it's all about the money. It's all about playing proper poker. And sometimes you forget that most players, I mean, I'm saying the vast majority of people that play poker, and I'm talking about millions and millions of poker players, they're playing it for fun. And obviously, this will kind of return us to our roots of why we play.
Got one person in the hands here. I was just going to say something, and then I forgot. I will not be pressured. And then I forgot what I was going to say. It's not a great way to start the night off.
Have you had your greens?
Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. Of course, Carlos. Everyone remembers Carlos from last night. I think he ended up he was up a little bit, Dave, and he left the game. Last night we were playing 20-40 no limit with a $2,000 minimum buy-in.
And that game continued on.
He came back after the show and won $29,000, starting off with, I think, a $2,000 min buy-in.
Unbelievable. He doubled up right away with aces and just took it to the races. Ended up $29,000. And I got to say, that's great for the game because Carlos really is good for the game.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's got a $29,000 bankroll to play with.
Well, we're talking about, tomorrow I'm going to play in the game, and you were telling me the lineup, and I was kind of telling you, it's a great game. I like playing in the game. You're not going to see me play many hands with that lineup again. I almost want to be in a game where we've had the last couple Fridays with Dr. BB and a couple other passive players where I actually really play a lot of hands. Tomorrow's really going to be straightforward for me, Dave. Jake, Hatsutani, Corporation Mike, Carlos.
Yeah, the lineup tomorrow night, from what I've got heard of, I think it's going to be Hav, midnight.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be George Giorgio, Greek poker guy. I think it's going to be Mo, Allen, Corporation Mike, like you said, Jason Cacciatani, and Carlos, and you. And probably Bert.
And Bert, I really like him in the game, too.
Well, Cheryl's got the best hand here. She's got a king 8, by the way. She's got top pair.
Well, Ted is going to come out and bet on second pair, and it looks like Cheryl's going to min... No, she's just going to call. Just going to call.
She doesn't want to isolate her husband. But it's just them.
Turns a 3. Are they going to bet against each other?
Well, I got to tell you, I'm sure she's going to bet against him, but if he's smart, it's his wife's birthday. Even if I had the best hand, I would muck it.
Is that from experience?
I'm sorry. You're playing against your wife. It's kind of a lose-lose situation, okay? If it's her birthday and you beat her, oh, man. Although, I got to tell you, we've actually seen Cheryl on the show. She's a pretty solid player.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, I got to think obviously, it's her birthday. She brought them all here.
Funny thing about this game, man, a lot of different casinos, you can actually come with a group, and they will spread your own game. And I'm only going to say this once because we're really going to keep this game light. But it is kind of almost impossible. If you actually watch this game, the only real winner is the casino in a small game like this, in terms of money-wise. I mean, for fun.
Right.
It's all fun.
But I mean, if you think about it in a different way, if they're playing for fun.
Right.
Okay, this is a group of this is a group of 9 people, plus they have somebody behind. They have 10 people.
Yeah.
Let's say they were going to go to dinner.
Right.
And a bar.
Right.
They would probably spend somewhere in the neighborhood of $600 or $700.
Right.
They're not going to spend that much here. Not even close.
Yeah.
And they're all going to eat, and they're all going to drink, and they're having a good time. So if you look at it as a night of entertainment, it's actually pretty cheap. And the odds are that 3 or 4 of these players are actually going to win money.
Sandra raised, Dave, the minimum $3 out of the big blind with queens. And she still has the best hand here, and she's open-ended. King, Jack, 10. Now, Claire, look at this. Claire's a favorite. She's got a bottom pair and a flush draw here.
Well, it's funny. She's a favorite against the entire field.
Right.
But if it gets heads up between her and Sandra, obviously she's not.
And it gets checked around.
Wow, well, there's the 9.
Well, Sandra's got a straight now.
She's in good shape, obviously.
And she checks again.
Now, Claire can still win this if a spade were to come off.
And it looks like Tony might take a shot at it here, Dave.
There you go. Sandra has set the trap.
Yeah.
And Tony just walks into it, I tell you. Now, women's intuition.
If Sandra just calls here, maybe that will bring Claire in as well here with the flush draw behind her.
That's a way to play it, you know?
Again, the blue chips are $1 chips.
Looks like she's doing a little mini raise here. No,
just a call.
She just calls. You know what? And look at that. She gets Claire to lay it down anyway. The river's a 10, and watch Sandra check this one more time, and watch Tony try to take a shot at it. No, she's going to bet it. I thought maybe she'd induce the bluff again.
Well, Tony has absolutely nothing here.
No, right.
As always, again, when we talk about, this is really a night to bring in some questions. You can email us at live@thebike.com. Any questions, comments, suggestions, especially tonight. You can also follow a thread on 2+2 by going to 2plus2.com, spelled out, click on forums, World Poker Tour, etc. Dave, I went home and listened to that interview that I did on Sunday because I hadn't heard a chance to hear it.
Right.
And it was, it's pretty good. It was about 15 or 20 minutes, so check it out. You can check that out at bigpoker.ca. Or you can actually go
That's
to
the best place to do it. Yeah, go to our website, go to our commentators, the bios, and you can check out Bart's bio. And at the bottom of that is a link to the interview.
What I was also thinking, this is for Evelyn ears as well, if we're going to have that in our bio, why don't we have a link to the circuit interview on there, too, someplace? Right? That makes sense. Of course, we were on the circuit about 3 or 4 months ago now.
Yeah.
And that was actually a much longer interview, about 45 minutes, right?
It was.
Yeah.
Looking forward. We probably should have a part 2 with Scott Huff. We'll talk to him about that maybe during the World Series.
Yeah,
while we're down there.
Yeah. Scott actually forwarded us some emails, and I was reading just, some responses to his show, and a lot of people said that the 2 favorite shows, the consensus of the circuit, were when we were on there and when Tom Arnold was on there. Those were the kind of the 2 best shows.
I'm not sure what to say about that. Wow, okay. Have they had, Phil Ivey and everybody else on their show yet?
I don't know if he's had Phil Ivey. Obviously, everyone wants Phil Ivey.
It's funny, Scott Huff was telling us that a lot of the pros that were going on the show were kind of a little hesitant about giving away their secrets.
Well, that's why I think he thought that we did a really good job, and a lot of people liked it, because sometimes his interviews just kind of end up not necessarily bringing a lot of information to the table, more about poker play, obviously.
Right. Tony with the best hand here, still with ace high. Nobody's got anything, though. And if he bets it, you imagine... Well, Thomas is going to bet this, it looks like, with king high. And I don't think Tony can call here. It's a nice bet. Really putting your opponent on big cards. And Tony bluffs him out. Yeah. I'm sorry, Thomas bluffs him out.
Yeah, we actually do spread this game, Dave, at the $80 level. And it used to be, we used to use $2 chips in the game because we had it on Thursdays before.
I actually like this game. I really do, with this structure, because you have enough chips to really play some poker. Like the $100 game, to me, I think they should play this game.
Well, the blinds are...
Or the $200.
The blinds are 1-2 in this game?
1-3, actually.
1-3, okay.
Well, you do have 33 times the big blind. But the small blind's only $1, so there's not an automatic complete.
And then we have a $40 game where the blinds are 1-2, and it uses blue chips. But there used to be 2-2 blinds in this game. In the $80 game, it was green chip, but there weren't enough chips on the table. And we were actually going to do a $100 game, but we decided, you know what, the $100 game, there's so few chips, it doesn't really because of the $5 chips, obviously.
Well, you started out, each person only has 20 chips, and it starts out with basically 180 chips. That's it.
Right.
Just not enough. I actually prefer this game, or then you jump right up to the $200 game.
Brian is raised here with King, Queen, offsuit, and C4 is called with Ace, Jack, and I think Thomas is going to call as well.
3 players.
And we're going to see 3-way action here. Well, Brian, the pre-flop raiser, he's hit top pair. Yep. Imagine he's going to follow through with a bet here.
It's funny. A lot of times somebody can watch a game like this, and you go, nah, I'm not going to learn anything from this game. Why am I watching? I'm not going to, And you got to realize that oftentimes you end up playing against players that aren't that experienced, that are recreational players. Is Carlos really much better than the guys at this table? I'll be honest with you.
I got to defend Carlos here for a second.
I'm not defending him, I'm not saying that these players are bad or Carlos is good or Carlos is bad, but I'm saying, is Carlos much better than everybody at this table? Actually, would Carlos be the best player at this table?
Again, I know where you're going, but I think
I'm already there.
I think a lot of people give Carlos a hard time. He is very dangerous, and sometimes, he's not the best player, Dave, but what makes him really dangerous, as Brian continues to bet, and Thomas called it the gut shot the whole way, and now Thomas has hit a pair at the end.
Yeah, it's not really what he was looking for.
What makes Carlos...
But look, he looks like he's going to bet it, though.
He's going to throw a little bet out, and you wonder if Brian can even raise here, right?
No, this is really just a call situation.
Why you gotta go there?
If your opponent was in there with 6-9, it's kind of an odd play. I would probably call this with a king, thinking my opponent had 6-7 and was bluffing at it, made us pair 7s on the river.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah. So why I want to defend Carlos, because we've seen 2 sides of him yesterday. We saw him fire 3 times at that guy Ramzik in seat 4 with king 10, bluffed him out of the pot. I have also seen Carlos grossly overbet with a flopped nut hand or with a made hand. We saw him push in with kings pre-flop last night. After the show, Dave, there was a hand where these guys were both $10,000 deep, Carlos and this other guy. And the other guy, I think, had pocket tens, and Carlos had 6-7. The flop came 8-4-5. The guy bet like 500. Carlos moved in for 10,000 on the flop, and the guy called with pocket tens. He moved in for 10,000 with the nuts on the flop, and the guy called. I mean,
what's your point?
What's my point?
I'm wondering what your point is.
I'm just saying that.
You're saying it's a good play by Carlos?
Okay, I'm saying that he overbets his bluffs and his good hands.
Okay, is he really thinking it that far?
I gotta defend the guy a little bit.
Is he going? But I'm saying, is he really thinking it that way though?
I think I've seen him bet hard with flop trips.
Let's not attack Carlos. I'll just throw something else at you.
Yeah.
In the games we play on Wednesday nights and Friday nights, okay, the big games. If I took some of those players and I put them in this game,
then
would they really be much different?
And I know where you're going there. Everyone had a straight draw here, and everybody missed. But
you think Alan is better than Cheryl?
Right.
I take Cheryl every day of the week over Alan.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Well, I know, and that's like I said, I understand the point you're trying to get at.
Anyways, what I'm trying to point out is no matter what game you're playing in, you're going to be facing recreational players.
Now, Eric, like you said, he backed in. Everybody had a straight draw. Eric backed into a pair. He bet and 10 called him a base high. And Eric wins.
But we see that all the time. And I guess my point is, whatever game you play in, you're going to be facing recreational players. Oftentimes, recreational players' play doesn't really make sense. It's hard to piece it together. So sometimes you really can learn a lot by... I think one of my leaks in my game is sometimes I give players too much credit. I go, wait a second, maybe he's putting in a blocker bet because he's got something strong and he's trying to get me to block. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm almost overthinking it instead of just going, wait a second. This guy's just betting it because he has a hand.
Right.
And he's not betting because he doesn't have a hand.
Little mini raise here onto the gun by seat number 2. That's Tony. He's got queen jack offsuit.
So I'm just curious. The move in by Carlos for $10,000, you like that play?
I didn't say that. But I got to tell you, if he gets a guy to call with an overpair.
You like the call by pocket 10?
Yeah, that's a great call. Great call.
10,000. How big was the pot?
Probably a 2,000 or so.
Ooh, set of fours for Thomas.
Yeah, but no one has an ace here.
Nah.
Well, and Thomas is in position, Dave. And Tony's going to continuation bet here to 6. And let's see what Thomas is going to do.
Look at it. He looks like he's going to raise it right away.
Yeah, and we love that play, especially if this guy has an ace at this level. He probably wouldn't get away from it, Dave. Something like ace-king.
What would Alan do there? Okay, very good. Alan might just call, although there's 2 diamonds.
There's 2 diamonds. Actually, Alan is pretty good.
If there's 2 diamonds.
He sees more of the flush cards, which most people do see. Of course. He was not going to slow play a 2 flush board.
But what happens if the ace was a spade? Would Alan see it as a wheel draw possibility?
Alan probably just call the flop.
Right, exactly.
And of course, the problem with that when we talk about is there are a few cards that are going to kill your action, like a deuce or a 3. You don't necessarily put a pre-flop razor on that hand, but if you just call there and the guy has ace-king and the deuce or a 3 comes on the turn, you've kind of really let him off the hook because he might not continue on with the hand, fearing the straight, right?
Nice post here from Sir Felix Cat. He says, hey, Bart, Tuck. We've become one person now, by the way. By the way, about last night, couldn't catch it live, but I do watch the first replay every night. And I guess he's got a night crew job. Says, keep up the good work, fellas. Thanks a lot for kind words. I want to thank our potato, Jay Siegel. He has given us a whole entire bin of red vines.
Yeah, like a Costco bin, in bulk.
Keep us sugared up.
4-way action here, limped around. Now, Ted's got ace-7 here. He's got the best hand.
Best hand for sure. I'm just saying, if you watch tonight's game, right? Chips are chips, right? It doesn't really make a difference if these are $100 chips or dollar chips.
Right.
I bet you if you watch this game carefully, you will see some of the same stuff you see on a Wednesday night, a Tuesday night, and a Friday night.
Now, again, you can kind of tell a lot of these people are probably relatively new to live poker or just, know Love and Hold'em in general. One of the kind of the simple mistakes that a beginner makes is kind of how much to bet, because you see some of these guys betting like $3 into a $20 pot. And I gotta tell you, the simple rule of thumb for a beginner, as I always say, bet the pot, just as a starting motion, right? I mean, isn't that...
It's a nice spot to go in. I mean, yeah. It's definitely a good way to start it off. I mean, it's one of the reasons why no limit hold'em is so much more complicated than, say, limit hold'em for a beginner. Limit hold'em is pretty much, okay, I've got a good hand, I bet. What can I bet?
Right.
Well, you can only bet this much.
Yeah.
Right. And you want to raise? Okay, you have to raise this much.
Right.
It's easy. No limit, there's always, okay, do I want to bet? And now it's, oh, wait, how much should I bet?
Right. Flop was checked around. The turns of deuce, it was limped around. Doesn't look like we're probably going to see a whole lot of pre-flop raising. And that's kind of typical sometimes of a lower level game.
Ted's got the best hand here. 2 pair.
Yeah, he's got a deuce. That's good. Aces are nuts.
Yeah, aces and deuces with a queen kicker. His jack doesn't play. It's always your best 5 cards in hold'em.
$6.
And Ted is going to bet $6 here. I don't know if there's a whole lot of value in... Actually, that's not Ted that's bet. It's Thomas that's bet. And Eric has called him with king high here, Dave. And now, can Jack Deuce call? Jack Deuce does not call. How do you overcall that?
I don't think you can.
I don't even know how you call it. Now, Eric's got king 6, and I think they're going to chop...
They are.
Aces and queens.
Yeah, aces.
No, the king 6 is going to play.
No, the 6 doesn't. Does it really?
Yeah, aces and queens for the king 6.
Aces,
kicker,
king,
right?
Right, because there's a 5 out there.
Yeah.
Okay. I just assumed with a 6 and a 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great call. Great call.
Calculated that, right? Good job.
Got the king 4.
And Cheryl said I would have called him with the deuce, but how can she overcall?
No,
Obviously.
of course not.
Yeah.
Once again, we're live at the bike. It's birthday night here. We're playing No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are 1 and 3 in this game. Now tomorrow night should be a lot of fun. Also, you don't miss that show. Tomorrow night's show will be 7 o'clock. I'm going to be doing the commentary solo because Bart is going to be in the game with the likes of Corporation Mike, Jason Cacciatani.
Yeah, and I'm telling Donna now, and we're going to tell Mo after the show tonight. I'm not getting squeezed between Cacciatani and Mike. I'm picking my seat tonight.
Well, you should pick
not
it
like
now.
last time. Last time I already got squeezed between Barry and Mike.
Well, you know Jason is either going to be in seat 4 or seat 6.
Yeah.
And you know Mike will probably be in seat 4. Somewhere around there, 4, 7, something like there.
I'll take like a seat 2 or something like that, you know.
You should take seat 9.
Think so?
9 or 8.
After those guys?
I would, yeah. After both those
Well,
players.
I'll take that into consideration.
Yeah, we got 3
I thought you said sometimes you like to be in front of an aggressive player.
I like to be in front of a maniac, not just an
And those
aggressive.
guys aren't necessarily...
They're not maniacs because they're like maniacs with a mind.
Right.
I'd like to be in front of, say, Dimitri.
Right.
Or like Razmik last night.
Right.
Okay, that's a perfect guy to be in front of. But like Jason Cacciatani, I want a position on Jason, I think, most of the night.
You know, it's so funny here because it looks like Ted is going to lead out with 3 kings. And we've had this discussion before. We love the play, but it's almost like beginners do this. And then once you get a month of experience under your belt, now everybody, has slow playitis. And then once you become
Tony calls him.
and then once you become advanced, Dave, then everyone people really get to know that betting your hand is good. But actually, the pure beginners actually might even come out and bet.
It's their instincts.
Right.
They don't really, all they know is, oh.
And he continues to bet.
Yeah.
And I think Tony's going to continue to call him the whole way. Yeah. The river's a queen. And if I was Ted, I would push pretty hard here.
Yeah, you bet one more time.
Oh, he checked it, Dave. And the king is good.
I mean, I guess he maybe he's scared of backdoor hearts. Maybe he figures you can't get called by a hand that's worse than him. You're not sure. Probably would have heard from a king queen or an ace king.
But you saw a guy raise right away with a set in this game, and you saw a guy bet out with king jack. I didn't tell you if we had a typical $200 game. Again, we talk about that kind of people that are not that experienced, but they have a little experience. We probably won't see that. 80% of the people won't do that on the table.
No, you're 100% right. It's funny, you know that saying, a little bit of information is dangerous.
Right.
And that's what happens to a lot of poker players. They're when they first start playing, they kind of almost play it correct.
Right.
Then they start playing it almost a little backwards. And we've seen that time and time again throughout the year.
And then I got to tell you, even some of the guys that were the weaker guys in the day game that I play in, Dave. Damn it! Did I not bring my mints in here? God. Sorry.
Take a break. Go get some mints. I'll come back. I'll take over.
I bought some mints for us tonight, Dave.
Did you? I could use a mint.
Must have left. I'll have to go out there. What I was going to say was that
I'm not kissing you, then. That's it.
Ace 10 of clubs here is raised, Thomas, so he's going to get called here in several spots.
Well, he's gotten both players dominated. And I want to say still is the best hand here.
No, Cheryl outflopped him.
Oh, they did.
5.
Queen 5, yeah.
She checks. And there you go. See, now Thomas is going to bet $3 into about a $24 pot here. Again, if you're going to bet, I think a good rule of thumb is to bet the pot if you're starting learning this game.
Well, even if my opponent, if I knew my opponent had ace king here, I could call with a 5.
Right. Turns a 4.
He's giving me 9 to 1 on my money.
Right.
Plus implied odds.
And it went check, check. Well, he took the card.
Well, he's the bluffer at this game.
Oh,
And
there's the ace comes on the river here. Now, if she checks here, I think you might value bet here your ace. A lot of people get scared. Well, what if she's got a flush? Well, I don't think someone checks a flush into you there on the river.
Not usually.
And she paid him off all the way with a 5.
Yeah.
And he takes it down. Some of the players that I would consider have been weaker in the day game, them playing the game for 6 months, a year. And, let's be honest, they're continuously long-term losers. Might be businessmen doing it for fun. But they actually see some transformation with some of these guys where they actually start to figure out that the best way to be deceptive with your hand is to sometimes over-bet, like, say, a flop straight. Because no one necessarily puts you on it if you play it so hard.
And who are you talking about specifically now?
Well, I was talking about a guy who's never been on the show before, a different guy named Mo. I actually saw him do that a couple of nights ago.
Yeah. I mean, I told you, it was funny. You told me about this guy, Mo, and not our host, Mo, a different Mo. And you said, he is a long-term, probably, obviously, a contributor to the game.
Right.
But I've watched him, and I don't think his game is that bad. I mean, obviously, he makes a mistake here, makes a mistake there.
He really tends to, he really slow plays way too much. And I told you about a hand where, he really let me off the hook because I turned a jack-high flush. He had an ace-high flush. The river was a 4th club, and he checked the ace-high flush to me on the river. And
of course,
yeah. I mean, that is just.
Eric here's got top pair. He's got the queen. And you imagine he's going to put a little bit of money in the pot, and he is. He's going to put a little $3 in there. And Claire's going to call. She's got bottom pair. I don't think Sandra can call this with ace 5, and you imagine Cheryl might throw. I'm sorry, Cheryl actually called it the jack. And there's a 6. That doesn't help anybody. And Sandra actually took one off with ace 5. Really, no pair, no draw.
No charge. How long is it waiting? Is it like
and we're going to see this heads up here.
They do it every night.
Well, seat 9 bets here. Queen 8.
Oh, I'm sorry. And seat 7 is still in there.
Yeah, I think
Sandra
did just folded.
Yeah,
she just folded.
Yeah. Okay, that's why I got confused.
And Cheryl is called. She's got second pair. That's the best hand right now. And Claire's going to overcall here with 3rd pair. Eric's got top pair. He's got the best hand. This might get checked down here.
3 changes nothing, and Eric's going to win this here.
Well, he's going to bet here again, it looks like.
And it's kind of a little value bet, $3.
$3, yeah.
And he gets paid. And it's funny,
I don't
Cheryl,
think that Claire can overcall when Cheryl
we've seen Cheryl play this game. We've seen Cheryl play in the $200 game. I think she's even played in the 3 to 5 game.
Yeah.
And she beats that game.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of players that kind of give her money. But in this game, I think she might be a little bit like, I don't know how to play against these guys because they don't know how to play poker.
Well, you said, though, I mean, the guy, like there, Eric, I mean, he's betting $3 into a $20 pot. He can call with any part of the flop.
And that's the problem with it. And then she got to the point where the pot was like $30 and she
It's a
gives
$3. Yeah,
she's
I
giving
might
away
call
3
there,
at a
too,
time. Right.
31. I had more than that one.
The other thing about that guy, Mo, that I was talking about, that actually makes him dangerous. A lot of times we believe, obviously, in river value betting. And sometimes if you get check raised, well, 95% of the time you're beat.
Right.
But I've seen that guy check the nuts on the river. I've seen him check raise, bluff the river with nothing. I've also seen him check raise with the nuts. I've also seen him check raise the river with mediocre hands. So a lot of times I'm actually not betting the river against him. Because I don't actually want to be put necessarily in a tough spot.
I mean, you might be check raising the river with the nuts, hoping that you might bet the river with the nuts, hoping he check raises
with the nuts. But I'm saying other spots where I might value bet a predictable player like Allen, where I can easily fold to a check raise, or I think I can call. He puts you in a tough spot because he's capable of check raise bluffing on the river, doing it with a mediocre hand and doing it with the nuts. It's really something.
You got to realize that a lot of these guys, the successful businessmen that are for recreational poker players.
Right.
After a few months of playing poker, they're obviously smart guys. They're obviously they've become successful in business because they're smart.
Right.
And most of them are very highly competitive. And I think none of them they don't want to be giving money away.
Right.
They're going to learn how to play or they're going to quit. One of the two.
Two people have top pair here, Ted and Thomas. Thomas is going to bet. And look at this. I mean, we've really started a trend here. I mean, it's a $3 bet into about a $40 pot here.
And if you're Ted, you probably want to raise this up a little bit. There are 2 spades out there, and he is going to raise it.
But look at this. It's a $3 bet and a call, and he raises to 6. Do these guys know they're playing no limit? I mean, honestly. I'm actually asking, because this is, I mean, the first 5 hands of tonight have been played kind of like 3-6 limit.
Oh, look at Ted's hand now. Ted he is top pair, top kicker with the spade draw. Now, Tony has actually picked up an open-ended straight draw, but it has to be a deuce or a 7 that is not a spade. Now, for him, obviously, the deuce of spades is in Thomas's hand, so he's safe there.
Well, Ted bets $10 here.
Into what? Like an $80 pot?
I want Donna, this is kind of a joke.
Well, he bet 10 this time, so obviously he knows.
I want Donna to actually ask Cheryl out loud, kind of jokingly, after this hand. Because I'm sure the show will get a kick out of it. We get a call here by Ace Deuce. Tony's going to fold. And the river here is a 3.
And that changes nothing.
Thomas needed an offsuit deuce there.
Right.
Now, do you value bet here with Ace Jack?
I think you can.
It's just going to go check.
I definitely think you can in this game.
Donna, ask Cheryl out loud if her friends know that this is a no-limit game.
I was about to tell them.
Oh, okay. I just thought on those betting streets it was like a $3 bet, a $3 call, and a $6 raise.
Yeah, I was okay.
The butt moves over here to seat 6.
Kind of simplifying the whole thing.
You did bet $10 though on the turn.
Yeah. Kind of broke the trend. Okay, now, you know what's funny here? C.W. Siggy on 2+2 points out the hands that we just saw in a hand. He said one guy's got 3-7, one guy's got Ace-7, one guy's got Queen-Jack, one guy's got Jack-8 offsuit, one guy's got 4-7, and one guy's got 10-3. Yep, it's live at the bike. Does that really change? I mean, if I just told you those are the hands in there, would you know it was tonight?
No, I totally agree with you.
You have no idea. It could be Wednesday night's game.
Absolutely.
That could be Jonas, Jason Cacciatani, Corporation Mike.
Look at this, limp, and Tony has moved all in here for, I think, maybe 25? Excuse me, not Tony. It's, it was Tony that moved in.
And Thomas is calling him.
Thomas is going to call him here with Jack 10, and he's actually not in bad shape. This is almost a coin flip here, Ace-8
Although
Jack
Brian's
10.
got Jack 10 also.
Yeah, well, it's trouble.
Yeah. Definitely takes away 2 of his outs.
Yeah.
And if you're Eric, I think you can easily lay down Queen-8.
You got a guy that's moved all in, and you got a caller here.
Yeah, Queen-8 can't be good. And it's one of the few hands you really don't want to call this with because Queen-8 is badly dominated. Normally you think your Queen is sharing it, but no, it's the 8.
And Brian folds. And like you said, Thomas is in worse shape here because Brian had Jack 10.
Yeah. And this is about a $56 pot?
Yeah.
And I want to say Tony's probably, about a 60-40 favorite?
He's open-ended.
Oh, wow.
10, Jack, Queen, King.
Turn is a queen, and now Tony's got nut diamonds.
Jack.
And the river here is an ace, and Jack 10 is going to make a Broadway
Thomas
straight.
gets the straight there. Thomas had a lot of outs, obviously. He could have picked up a Jack, a 10, a 9, or an ace.
Yeah.
That was not a diamond.
There you go.
And poor Tony goes broke. He's going to buy in for another $100 there.
Having fun at Live at the Bike.
Once again, if you want to email us, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Any question you might have about really anything. Consider us Dear Abby.
Right. Definitely tonight is a night to ask, we'll call it what it is sometimes, long-winded questions. And look, I just checked the email. We got 7 emails here.
Oh, perfect.
There you go.
There you go. I'm just looking at the thing. This one here. Okay, you asked for it.
Right. Well, we got a big hand here for the guy that just went broke, Dave. He's got ace, queen of clubs.
Sorry about that guy.
Now he's sorry.
And let's see what Tony's going to do here. Looks like he's going to raise, Dave.
Tell the guy to go all in, play the game.
And he makes it 9.
I like the guy in seat 3, Lee.
Yeah.
You're playing a game with your friends, right?
He's got the sunglasses on.
It's a birthday game.
Yeah.
And he's got the sunglasses on. I mean, that's funny. This actually reminds me of a story. I was back in New York a while ago, and my buddy calls me up and goes, hey, man, we're going to have a little poker game going. He's like, you want to come over? Just a bunch of friends. I go, super. Now, the last time I played with these guys, it was before the real poker craze, okay? So I used to go over there, we'd all drink beers, we'd have a good time, we'd talk about girls and stuff like that, and whatever, and we'd have a good time and just play poker. Well, I went over his house, and he had like 8 guys there, and 4 of them were like in the sunglasses, wearing their World Poker Tour advisors. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. I was like, come on.
Well, Brian is called here with ace-7, and it's a pretty good flop for Tony. He hasn't flopped a pair, but he's got the nut flush draw, and he is way out in front.
Yeah,
there.
Brian's got 3 outs and 3 outs only, and then Tony's got redraws.
Brian could also chop here. That's why the percentages don't add up to 100. If a king were to come, or say if the turn card paired on the river, they would chop it up with 2 pair with ace high.
Right.
I don't think Brian's going to call here. So I'll get to this question here by Alex. It says, Barton Dave, I played Limit Hold'em 816 mostly for about 2 years now, and a few months ago I switched to No Limit. I've had some losses, of course, but I was wondering if around 400 is a normal win for the 100 to 200 bind game with, say, 2-3 blinds. I was just trying to gauge since this is what I'm winning consistently. Thanks, Alex.
I mean, I think that's a pretty good win, actually, if that's what you're winning consistently.
I mean, it depends on how long his session is also, right?
I mean, exactly. How long are you playing for? You really should kind of gauge it by an hourly rate.
I mean, if you were playing in a 3-5, 200 no-limit game, I mean, what would an hour...
Well, that's 2-3 blinds.
Right, but I'm just saying in the game, because I don't even think you can start talking about hourly in the 100 or the 80, because I don't know if you can really beat that game.
Well, basically, he's buying in for a $100, $200 game. It also kind of
depends. It's a spread. Okay.
It also kind of depends on how the game plays. Is the game really aggressive?
Yeah.
Is the game somewhat passive? And I guess in the end, how long you play, really, isn't it?
Look at this. Sandra limped in with 10s. Eric did not raise with jacks in the small blind.
Wow. Well,
and we got 3-way action.
Eric's got a set of jacks here, but unlucky for him, nobody's got an ace.
And look what we talk about. Now, it's obviously... that Eric is probably kind of new to the game because we've kind of figured from his bet sizes. But again, he is petting right into a set.
And Sandra's going to call with 10s.
And look at these turn quads. Is he going to bet again here?
Quad jacks. I got to tell you, I probably bet here.
Yeah.
He just moved all in.
Did he? No, I don't think so. Did he?
Oh, okay. Look at him. He has no idea what to do. What do I do with quads?
Yeah.
But at this point, you almost.
And he's going to bet again. I love it.
Well, you want to
bet 10.
Don't you want to price your opponent in, like either into her club draw, or if she has an ace, you want to build a pot so you can bet big on the river.
Absolutely. And Sandra's going to call here again.
And she's drawing stone cold dead.
If Sandra catches a 10 here, Eric could have all her money. Oh, the river's a king. That's another overcard. I don't know if Sandra can call now.
Of course not. But normally, if you're Eric here, you got to think this girl just made a flush draw.
Right.
Maybe I can bet big. Actually, you're hoping she's got. Oh man, she had Queen 10 of clubs. Oh.
And look at that. He pushes.
Boy, Eric.
And I don't, like I said, I don't necessarily mind the play here, and she gets away from it.
You're hoping she beat you.
I got to tell you, if you guys, you police guys, go back and watch this show.
Policemen.
Policemen. And he showed the quads. Oh, he didn't show. Isaac, he didn't. And when's the last time we've seen that where you don't show the quads?
I would never believe it.
Yeah.
Somebody told me they had quads and
he didn't show. Believe it. What I was going to say is that I'm sure a lot of these guys, their friends, are watching the show. Eric, don't let anybody of your friends say you should slow play that hand.
Oh, he played that perfectly.
You played that as good as you can play.
I mean, there is a time to slow play.
Right.
Quad jacks.
Right.
That wasn't one of them.
No, it wasn't. Not from up front there.
I love it. Especially with 2 clubs out there and an ace.
Yeah.
You're hoping she's got a flush, or you're hoping she's got an ace. And if she's got an ace, she probably pays you out the entire way. Wow.
With an ace out there and you've got quads, I just love it. I love it.
So anyway, just to finish up Alex's question, I would say, obviously, if you're winning 400 every time you buy into a $100, $200 game, I mean, you're winning 400, so you're winning 200%. I mean, that's obviously pretty good. You're winning 2 buy-ins for every buy-in you put in.
Yeah.
Try to figure out what your hourly rate is. I mean, are you doing that in an 18-hour session or, say, a 4-hour session?
And again, it's not like quads happen a lot, but I'll tell you another time where you really should bet hard and when you always root for it. And this is when you should build the pot also, especially from up front, is when you flop a bottom full house. I got to tell you, say the flop comes the flop comes,
Turn already?
say it's 4-4 deuce.
Can you have 4s?
No, what am I trying to No, excuse me, if you flop a top full house. Oh, what am
You
I
said
trying
quads.
to say? Yeah, but if you flop... Excuse me, right, if you flop bottom quads, that's what I was trying to say. If you flop bottom quads, you really want that top pair to pair.
Oh, of course. Well, if you get called, yeah, of course.
Yeah, you really want that top pair to pair. And then you really, like from up front, if you've got a couple people in there, and you've now got a double pair board, and you've got bottom quads on a double pair board, I think you at least bet the pot on the turn, or maybe even more, to build up a pot, because nobody's going away from a 9
No, of course. Oftentimes, if you bet it out, they'll either put you on top pair, or they'll just put you on the bottom full house.
Right.
They'll never put you on quads.
Right.
Queen 9-5, couple of hearts out there. Sanders got the best hand here with Queen Jack.
And I'll get to another question here.
She's going to put some money in the pot.
She bets $5 here. Jared Pondalek. Ask this question here in a second.
C4 still good?
And seat number 7 there, Claire's going to call. She's got the nut flush draw here, Dave.
That's a big hand.
Seat 8 calls Thomas with ace-5.
It's one of those times where, though, her ace is not good, though. And she's got to be aware her
Right.
ace might not be good.
Nor, obviously, is the jack. And look at this.
Uh-oh.
She makes a flush, and Sanders got trip queens. And she is going to continue to bet. And let's see if Claire here is going to raise.
Well, she's going to double check. Yep, I got him.
Yeah. No, she's just going to call.
Kind of trap. A little trap here.
Yeah. Doesn't want to see a jack to come out here. Obviously, the board pairing. Well, here we
That's
go.
also that's an action
Yeah,
killer.
action killer. The river is a 4th heart. Now Sandra really only has a bluff catcher hand with her trip queens.
Yeah. But I got to tell you, though, Sandra betting, though, can you raise if you're Claire?
I don't know. And she just calls. Obviously, it's a paired board.
I mean, can you get can you get called?
well, you probably shouldn't be able to get called by a queen.
Right. You shouldn't get
That's
called
out
by
of
queen.
bounds.
there.
Right.
Certainly not a heart.
Email here from Jared Pondwick. He says, "Hi, Dave and Bart. I'll start off the night with an easy question. What are all the signatures on the bicycle board in back of you?"
Well, let's see. What are they? Go ahead. We've got Antonio Esfandari, magician, Men the Master,
Yeah.
Mark Safe, Ron Rose, the Grinder.
Grinder.
We've got. That's Brandon Roderick. That's actually a Playboy Playmate.
Oh, cool.
That's Paul
Paul
Darden.
Darden.
That's Greg Cateres, the linebacker for the Denver
Yeah.
Broncos, who's actually married to Brandy.
Yeah.
I have no idea, man.
That's
Help me
Amir
out.
Vahidi.
Oh, play good, Amir Vahidi.
Yeah.
Kathy Liebert.
Kenna James, of course. Pat Flanagan. Linda Johnson. And, of course, down here, look at these two signatures.
Barry Greenstein, Doyle Brunson.
Doyle Brunson, Miami John Cernuto. Jerry Buss, the owner of the Lakers.
Yeah.
Did we miss anybody there?
Genocide.
Yep. Jennifer Lee. Who's the guy in the upper right-hand corner there? And those two.
J.H. I don't know.
And that one right there?
Good luck.
Joe Hash? Joe Hash?
Oh, Justin Hashimoto,
Yeah, there we go.
2005
Yeah,
World
yeah.
Series champ.
Yeah.
We got them all.
Yeah. We try, obviously, to get people to sign the board. Famous
Yes.
poker players.
Amazing, we've missed some, though.
Have we?
We've had so many. Where's Kenna?
Kenna's here.
He is, okay. Oh, there he is. Good flops and happy days.
Well, remember,
always.
somebody had that bright idea to put up that felt card thing in the background, like for a couple months, and this board was gone, and we
What are you
kind of
talking about? I
neglected
love
the board.
that felt
What
card.
idea was that?
That was wonderful.
I remember when I had I had bitter about that. I had right down.
Eric's got ace-5 here.
Pocket queens and he had pocket aces. And an ace.
Got another email here from Tom Faber.
Eric's in dominating shape here. He's got top pair. He also has a 5 of clubs. And Eric's going to bet it, and I don't think anybody can call this. Maybe Thomas calls the jack of clubs in his hand. No, he's not going to get involved. And take it down, Eric.
So Tom Faber says, is it right to bet your flush draw? I know you should do different things from time to time, but what do you do the majority of the time? Well, obviously it's an interesting question. I get it. Of course, as we always say, it depends. if you lead out with your good hands and with your semi-bluffs, it really makes people scared of you. We saw Dave do it in the $1,000 game a couple Fridays ago where he actually got a real tight player off of ace-king when the board came king-deuce-deuce.
No, king 4-4.
Oh, king 4-4. You led right into him and he folded. I think you were betting, what, like pockets? You were but you betting
I had
pocket
pocket
deuces.
deuces.
Yeah. I mean, that is a little bit of a tight laydown, but again, I mean,
Lee's got kings.
Lee's got kings. What I don't think you really should do, though, is lead out with a really dry draw into multiple players from up front. I think that gets you into trouble.
Well, I mean, it kind of depends what you're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're the type of player, like Bart says, if you're betting your made hands, you're also betting top pair, and you're also betting your draws,
Meet the blind.
you've got to realize that by betting your draws, first of all, you're naming your price. There's fold equity. Now, if everybody folds, you win, right? Great. Well, if they call you, that's not such a bad thing either because you still have a draw.
Right.
I mean, there is a theory of anytime if you're going to, I'll throw this at you. If you're going to check and call the guy, well, then I'd rather be betting and make him call me.
Right. Well, Lee has made that min raise to kind of a limit raise to $6 here, and he's flopped top set. But look at this.
Tony's flopped the flush.
Tony flopped the flush, and now is Tony going to bet right into the razor here, Dave?
Wow, what a
seat two.
hand.
These guys have been betting, and I love it. He's going to bet. He is going to bet his hand.
Oh, this is a huge pot here.
And again,
And he bets big.
Yeah, he bets 20. He knows what he's doing. And I
I
gotta tell
love
you,
it.
if you're Lee here, you probably pop it, don't
Yeah.
you?
And this is one of the reasons why it's dangerous. If let's say you were to play against me, I might bet the ace of hearts here, but I also would bet the flush
He
here.
just calls, and the turn is a jack now. And I think if you're Tony, you continue to bet. Obviously, any heart is going to
Definitely.
kill you.
You keep betting.
And now it looks like he's going to bet 40. 60. And that is, Dave, that's about a nice pot-sized bet.
It's a great bet.
Yeah.
And if you're Lee, you're sitting there going, wait a second, would this guy actually bet a flush right away?
Yeah.
No. If he had a flush, he would check it. This guy's probably got like an ace of hearts, or maybe he's got, really hard to put him on much though, because you've got pocket king.
It's almost like these guys don't know any better.
Look,
And
though,
then-
he's already rebuying now.
Like I said, it's almost like these guys don't know any better, and they're betting their hands. But remember, that's actually what you're supposed to do, right?
I tell you, you're going to defend Carlos, and then you're going to rip these guys. I
I'm
can't
not ripping
believe
these
it.
guys. This guy's made a great play.
By the way, Bart's license plate number is...
This pot is $120, $60 to call here, Dave.
We always talk about it. Sometimes the best way to play it deceptively is to
Yeah.
actually play it straightforward.
Yep.
I gotta tell you, if Tony played this hand against any one of the big players on a Wednesday night game, they would all pay him off.
All the money would be in right now.
Yeah, all the money would be.
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
And it might have been on the flop.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, if Tony plays it like me, he bets into me, I raise. If he moves in, you have to call with top set. I mean, depending on stack size, but if you're getting 2 to 1 with 2 cards to come.
Well, you have to figure, okay, 75% of the time he's got a flush, maybe 10% of the time he has the ace of hearts, and the other 15% of the time he's got a set of fives or a set of threes.
Right. Remember, there are other things you can beat. A
Right.
guy might really lead forward with, say, something like ace king with the ace of hearts as well.
And all the money goes in, and
Yeah,
the
Lee
board
likes to
doesn't
call.
pair, Tony's going to double up. And Lee needs the board to pair. He's got 10
That's
outs.
right. Needs the board to pair here, and this pot is close to $200.
He's a 4-to-1 dog. And here it is.
$200 pot.
It's a 10 of spades.
And the river's a 10, and Tony's got the flop flush, and he bet it all the way. He really played that hand well. And unlike some of the other people at the table, he was really betting real amounts
That's it.
for the pot size.
Tony the machine gun takes it down with the flush.
As opposed to, say, Tony betting, say, $3 or $6 into the pot. He actually bet a real amount, and he got paid off. Good, nice play there by Tony.
That was a great play by Tony, and you really can't fault Lee. I think you and I probably would have gone broke with top set
Absolutely.
there also.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I wanted to finish this thing. Anyway,
Oh.
I guess, once again, he says, I know you should do different things from time to time. Yes, you shouldn't be betting your flush draw all the time. Same as you probably should be betting your made hands all the time. But I think as a majority, you probably bet your draws, right? More
I do.
often
Yeah,
than
I
not.
do.
So do I.
Yeah. But like I said, say the flop, Dave, is ace, king, 9 with 2 clubs.
In a raised pot
And
or
I-
not a raised pot?
I don't think it actually matters. I think I'd probably do the same thing. If I have deuce 3 of clubs here, I probably am not going to get involved there. Ace, king, 9 with 2 clubs and say multi-way
I
action.
understand what you're saying, but let me just
Yeah.
throw something out at you. The flop looks scary, right? Now, you don't want to check call there, right? And I don't mind checking folding. I don't mind that play.
Right.
But if you're the type of player, and I know you are, to bet a set of nines right into that board, somebody with ace-king even or ace-queen has to play it somewhat cautiously.
Yeah,
they
but
know if they raise you, you might move in all
Yeah, but I
alone.
think you're falling in kind of into that trap where I think you might be giving people way too much credit. Because how many people really know that that's what I do?
Yeah,
and they're
okay.
going to play it that cautiously with
No,
this
you're right.
king, you know?
You're right. You're right.
I mean, against a good player, you know, if I'm heads up against a guy, if for some reason I'm out of position with that hand heads up, normally that's not going to happen. But, you know, a suited connector, you might bet your draw right into him. Freeze him. You can get him to lay down pocket queens, right?
You're naming your price sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what are you going to do?
I couldn't lay it down. I could not lay it down.
Got another email here from Tony Lukin. He says, totally random question. Chip racks on the table. Some casinos ban them from the table, requiring your chips to be stacked on the table, but I see it sometimes at the bike, players just pushing their chip rack into the middle. Is there a reason why some places have a different rule regarding it? Thank you, Tony from Iowa. And I think some places think it just kind of tends to slow the game up. I know in Vegas they don't really allow it that much, right?
It depends. I mean, if you ask the floor man, if you're playing a big enough game and you want your chip stack, you want your rack on there, they'll let you have it on.
And I don't think it really slows the game up, does it? Do you think?
It's one of those things where I remember I was playing in a 10-20 game there.
Yeah.
And one guy had his chips in a rack.
Yeah.
And the floorman said, listen, I'm going to let you keep them in there. Just take some out, though, so it doesn't slow the game down.
Oh, okay.
Just take some out.
Yeah.
And that's really the only reason for it. What was the first thing he said?
Brian is bet here with King 9 and he takes it down.
I like what he said here, though. He goes, hey, guys, great show. I find myself nowadays asking myself while I'm at a table, wait a second, if I was on Live at the Bike right now, what would Dave and Bart be saying about my play? Usually it is Dave saying something like, value betting his hand and he gets paid off. Occasionally it's Bart saying, he's calling. Are you kidding me? Anyway, thanks, Tony. I hope your Ducks hold up as well. Now, here at the bike, though, we allow people to keep, if they want to keep their money in the racks, they let them.
When I used to play limit games, I used to keep my chips in the rack.
That was because you were propping.
Right, well, that too. When I played no limit, I'd take them out of the rack, although it actually probably makes more sense the other way around, or at least to actually take your chips out of the rack in a limit game, because that game goes much faster, right?
Yeah, the only reason I started, it was funny, when I was propping, I would keep them in the rack.
Yeah, because you had to get up so often.
Right,
Yeah.
the floorman would tap you on the shoulder and go, I need you in this game to move quickly.
Right.
One of the reasons I actually I started taking my chips out of the rack was I just didn't want, I wanted to be comfortable with a lot of chips in front of me.
Yeah.
In case I was ever in a situation where I wasn't allowed to have a rack.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want it to become foreign to me. Let's say I went to Vegas, or I know in a
You don't think you can be that big to make that hard adjustment? Chips in the rack versus chips out of the rack.
I don't want to get superstitious or something to the point where it's like, ooh, I can only win when the chips are in the rack. I can only win when the chips are out of the rack. So now I never have the rack on the table. It's just easier for me.
Lee semi-bluffs there with Queen Jack, and he's going to take it down.
8 bucks, dude.
If I bet that,
I'm hot on your tail. Huh?
If I bet that detail?
I'm on tilt, as you say.
Button's going to move over here to seat 9. We've got another email here from Alex. He says, I know you guys preach keeping your races the same size, but I have a bit of a problem. When there are a bunch of limpers in front of you, and you have, say, pocket queens, don't you want to raise a bit higher than normal because of the added dead money? I find that when playing online, if there are many limpers and I raise in a proportion to the amount of limpers in my typical raise, they will still seem to put me on a big hand. What is your advice in maintaining camouflage when there are a lot of limpers in front of you and have had a hand that necessitates a raise?
Well read, Bart.
How's it?
That was really well read. That was very impressive. 8-8 deuce here, rainbow. Nobody's got an 8. Nobody's got a deuce. Claire's got the best hand with ace high. And she's got the button as well, so you wonder if they check it around to her. Will she bet?
Checked around.
Either way, it was a good play, dude.
Looks like it is checked around there.
Is me having 2 hearts and
Turn is a 10, and now Thomas has the best hand. I got to tell you, on that question, we do kind of preach, Dave, keeping your raises the same sizes, but there is kind of a formula. You do add to your raise with limpers in front of you, I think.
Yeah, I sometimes I guess people sometimes misunderstand us, and obviously I can understand why. Get to this right at the hands. Very exciting hand here. Yeah. Okay.
And sometimes I'll also vary my raise, Dave, if the table is a little bit shorter.
Of course.
it might be a little bit less.
Or if there's less people at the table,
Right,
something like that.
right.
Or,
That's what I mean. Yeah.
or deeper stacks of cars too.
Right,
Sure.
right.
But let's say my normal raise.
Filet with Bernays sauce.
Now let's say, okay, if anybody watched, I want to say 2 Fridays ago, I played on the show. My customary raise was $90. But if there was a limper in front of me, I probably would have made it 100 or 110. If there were 2 limpers, I might have made it 120. If there were 3 limpers, I might make it 140, and so forth and so on. And I mean, obviously, if there are more limpers in there, yes, you need to raise your amount. You need to pick up your raise amount. There's a chip count. Almost $1,000 on the table here. Tony's got the table covered at 190. Brian in second place at 150. And Cheryl, our birthday girl, is bringing up the rear. What is she doing? Okay, well, let's see how they're doing. Brian's in the lead. He's up $50 tonight. Ted's up 40. And Cheryl's down 35, and Thomas is down 38. Well, Ted and Cheryl are at least husband and wife, so as a husband and wife team, they're up $5.
That was kind of like the Barry Woods and Barry Woods'
Yeah,
son
exactly.
thing on Tuesday.
But obviously, yes, you want to adjust your raise depending on how many people are limping in. But I would say that you still want to raise the amount according. I'll throw something at you, Bart. Let's say you have Ace King. There are 4 limpers in a 10-20 game. How much will you raise?
Ace 10 and 4 limpers.
You have
and
Ace King on the button.
Yeah.
4 limpers come in, and now you have Ace King suited on the button.
I want to start this by saying that my normal standard raise
In that game would be
anywhere between 55 and 50 to
10-20 game.
10-20 game.
Game we're going to see you tomorrow night.
Well, let's say that my standard raise in that game would be, say, 100 to 120.
Okay.
Something like that.
But now you got 4 limpers.
In that case, I'm probably going to at least make it 200, I would think.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Now let's say you have pocket 9s on the button, and you get 4 limpers.
I think it's going to be, if I'm going to raise, it's going to be the same.
The same.
It's going to be the same.
And that's the
It's either
important
going to
thing.
be a limp, which I might do maybe 30% of the time. Or you don't always,
Of course.
you know,
No, definitely.
you know, it's...
But your raise amount is not going
Yeah.
to change depending on what cards you hold.
Right.
Your raise amount is going to change depending on how many players have already limped in, right?
And what you find, though, too, is sometimes when you mix it up and
Thomas
say,
is now open-ended, by the way.
well, Sanders got the nut flush draw. What sometimes you find, though, Dave, is
Brian's got a wheel draw.
Brian's going to bet here. What you find sometimes is if you are raising on the button with, say, a hand like a suited connector, I find sometimes a lot of people will raise less because they don't want to make a big pot. And people will see right
Oh,
through
and there it is. Look at that. He makes the nut straight with an offsuit 7.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, wow. And Thomas is going to be value betting here. And unfortunately for him, nobody has anything. But Thomas has got the absolute nuts.
And he's on the
But
button.
Brian is going to fire. Brian has missed his wheel. He's only got ace high, and he's counting out chips. See if he
And
can buy
Thomas
himself-
was in really bad shape because the jack would have been no good. He needed an offsuit 7 or an offsuit queen. Or a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously this is a raise situation for Thomas, and I
He has the
imagine
absolute nuts.
Brian's going to lay it down.
25.
He raises.
Yeah.
But obviously you have to double the bet here. Now seat number 1 made it $15, which means if you're going to raise, you're going to make it at least 30.
I'll go with the bad math.
But the point that I was making about that suited connector on the button, Dave, was that I think you raise that hand the same amount as well. You should not vary it if you're going to raise.
Of course. I mean, it's one of the parts of Mo's game that I'm not a big fan of, and I see it all the time. I know we know Paul, who's a pro, but he makes the same mistake. I think he makes it in the 5-10 game. He makes it $35 to $50 with any
Ace
kind
queen.
of ace
Yeah,
queen,
Broadway.
king jack,
Yeah.
10-9 suited, something like that. And with jacks and above, pair of jacks,
Right,
queens,
he'll
kings,
really-
races,
yeah.
he makes it $100. Well, thank you. You're giving me so
Yeah.
much information.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Punching her wheel card tomorrow.
And you can know that a good player is not going to make it a dinky raise with a premium high pair. Because you're not going to make it 35 from up front with aces because you're just really asking for trouble. Unless you're really trying to play cagey where you're like, you know what? I'm going to raise here to get re-raised, and if I don't, I'm going to treat it like a limped pot. How about that? You know what I mean?
That's definitely a way to play it.
It is a raised pot, but not really.
I'll throw something at you because this
Yeah.
is a way to play it sometimes too. Let's say Mo, because I've actually made this play on Mo and the table
Yeah.
and picked up some dead money this way. Mo once made his little dinky $30 raise up front.
Right.
So I figured Mo had a pocket 5, pocket 4, something like that.
Right.
4 callers. And I'm going, none of these guys got anything.
Yeah.
I had ace queen suited.
Right. Oh, that's, I would definitely.
Not only
agree.
did I know, but normally that's just a calling raise hand.
Right, but not to that
But
size
that kind of raise, I
Yeah.
said, no, I made it 200 to go, and
Absolutely.
I picked up all the dead money.
Yeah. You might even do that with ace jack offsuit.
I could do it with deuce 7 only just because I know what Mo had. I'm not playing my cards.
I mean,
I'm
that
playing players.
raise is almost like I said, I don't really in the 5-10 game, if anybody raises $40 or below, I don't really consider that a raise.
No.
Honestly, I look at it as like a limp.
Right, but there's certain players that certainly give you a lot of information by doing that.
Right. But if someone makes it 25 to go in the 5-10 game, okay, you cannot say, well, this guy doesn't have this. This is a raised pot. No, it doesn't. It's just not. It doesn't work that way.
I mean, you've got to be careful sometimes, obviously. We're talking about Mo or some other players that we really know very well. There are some players that are a little less experienced that actually only make it $30 to go with their aces.
Right. No, that's
You've got to be careful with that.
Right. Well, those are the guys that you want to call only because you know. I got to tell you, a lot of those guys do it like, especially in late position. They'll make it 20 or 30 to go from the cutoff or on the button with queens, kings, or aces. And like you say, you basically can almost call with any two working cards together because those are the same type of players that will lose their whole stack if you flop two pair and they have aces, right?
Well, yeah, as long as they don't bad beat you on the river. Yeah.
Right.
Nice shot. I think it's Brian, actually. Oh, no, that's Rick. Nick? Brian?
I would never.
It's not Brian. It's either Nick or Rick.
Because I don't play that game with
One of the two.
Because if you don't know where your husband's at, I think that's your problem. Babysitter, baby.
Can we go back to that shot real quick?
Why, you like the guy?
No, there's something in the background. That guy there, that's not the same guy from last night in seat 5, is it? Is it?
No.
Oh. No, that's what I saw
That's
in the
not
background. Rami, yeah.
A lot of Broadway out there. King Jack, Queen Jack. And a nice hand for Thomas here. Thomas has got second pair with the flush draw. But Ted actually has the best hand right now. It's King Jack. And Thomas is going to push in there. He's moving some money in there. He's raising it up.
No. You know what? I just hired about 4 new girls. We got by far the best looking girls
My friend
in
got
any
a
bar in
DUI
Orange
coming out
County
of
or
the
LA
bar.
County. Guaranteed.
Well, we got an email here from Cheryl's daughter.
Good looking faces.
They weren't there that night.
Get to it in a second.
We
Must have been a flu going around because they didn't show up.
No, I would murder. They probably murdered. But we tied the ship.
Because their cousins from Kansas came to work that day.
No, it's so tight shit. I'm telling you. Is that 6?
Yeah. This is a big pot. Big pot.
Well, Thomas has got a big hand here, Dave, in seat 8.
He's got a huge hand, but he's behind Lee. He's also behind Ted right now.
Yeah.
Chet Pimp over here, what are you doing? You know, I want to die down here. You're killing me over here.
Cheryl Valley. Is it Valley, the last name? Oh, no, excuse me. Jordan Valley. The daughter of... I'm Cheryl and Ted's daughter. She says. Just to let you know, today is my mom's birthday. Yes, everyone at the table except my cousin, Tommy, is a police officer. Me and my dogs are watching the show right now. Please announce this when you get this letter. As Thomas makes a flush here. The nut flush.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's get a little shout, a little whoop whoop for Jordan, huh?
Yeah.
A little whoop whoop, a little
P.S. I love lions.
Come on, Ray, get in here, man.
I love lions.
Ray, make some sort of rap song for Jordan. Oh, there's the nut flush. Thomas has got the nuts. He cannot lose his hands.
You have an 18-year-old. That's all right. She's not that
Yep,
old.
Queen High is the nuts here with an ace and a king out there.
We got another great email here from Jordan. It says, Dear Live at the Bike, please answer my letter from earlier. Thanks.
We're a little bit backed in emails here. Sorry about that, George.
Like Ask the Pros thing where you go, hey, what the hell's my mom doing?
Thomas Bet.
And she corrected us. You know, I actually thought it was Cheryl's 32nd or 33rd birthday. She just told me it was Cheryl's 40th birthday.
Wow, I actually skipped over that because I didn't necessarily.
10 more to you, Tim.
I'm amazed.
But that is amazing.
40?
Yeah.
Come on, Fred.
I mean, I was going to say, I mean, Ted looks probably 45 or 50. But Cheryl, I mean, she don't look older than 33 or 34.
And look at this, Ted fills up. He had two pairs of the river. Oh no!
Oh, what a... Oh, look at that.
Ted made 2 pair on the turn and he filled up on the river.
Well, Jordan,
Another good luck charm. That email, unbelievable.
yeah, your dad just made some
And
money.
he moves all in. He moves all in, and Thomas instantly calls. And Ted fills up and he takes it down.
Yeah, close your ears.
Wow.
Jordan, you didn't hear that, man.
Man, she's a girl. Actually, I don't know if she's a girl.
No, she said his daughter.
Oh, daughter, okay, thank you. If I was Jordan, when your dad comes home, I don't know if you'll be up tonight, but I don't actually have no idea how old you are. But I'd ask him for an increase in your allowance.
Yeah.
Just one about $100.
She's 11.
She's 11?
Yeah.
How do you know?
I just heard Cheryl say it at the table.
Oh, okay. Definite increase in your allowance.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call him. I was going to call him something else, but then I figured I need to read
Got a, looks like a long email here from, well, unsigned.
What was the Jason Lee request? I didn't see that one.
What's that?
The one right above, below Mom.
Oh, yeah. Jason Lee says, can you reenact a scene from Brokeback Mountain for us on camera?
No.
No, not quite, Jason.
No, just no. No. He's not my type.
You have the screenplay from Brokeback Mountain? I do. You read it before the movie came out? Is that what you said?
I don't know if I read it before the movie. No, I read it after the movie came out. I got it. Well, you know,
You didn't like the movie, right?
I thought it was complete fluff. I thought it was garbage.
Yeah.
I thought the only reason it got any kind of publicity in Hollywood was because it was about two gay cowboy riders. I thought the movie, if it was a girl and a guy in the mountains of Montana or Wyoming,
Just
nobody
as a
would have
love
cared.
story,
Nobody
yeah.
would have cared. I thought it was complete garbage. But hey,
Thomas has pocket jacks over
just
there.
my 2 cents.
Not king jack in seat 8, but I don't think he raised.
There you go, Ted. Is he playing again, Ted?
So Thomas has got jacks here, but an ace comes on
Ooh,
board.
well, Ted and Tony both are open-ended.
Nobody has an ace. Thomas is still good here.
Yeah, well, if Tony or Ted play their straight draw hard, they should be able to get Thomas off the jacks.
You're a man of hand.
Tip was leaning like
No,
that.
he's just for a fun.
Oh, he's not? Oh, he's not.
Who's this email
The
from?
other one.
Unsigned, I told you.
Unsigned. You guys got to sign your name, man.
Here, Giller, I put 3 in for you.
I get checked around here. The turn's a 4.
Changes nothing. Jacks are still good. Ted and Tony both need the same card. They both need an 8 or a 3.
Check. Check the shit out. Check. My chips are all over the floor. Check the shit out.
Once again, we're live at the bike. I'm David Tuckman here at Bart Hanson. We're playing No Limit Hold'em, and it's birthday night. It is Cheryl's birthday in seat number 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can't let him steal that one.
What's the bet? Very good call.
6. I'd let it go if I were you, Ted. Ted? I know how you are, Ted. Ted?
You're chasing. You're home in front of a club, aren't you?
Well, Tony is going to actually bet his straight draw. Ted is going to call, and Thomas is going to call, too, at the jacks. Kind of a crying call. And, wow, Eric's in there with queen 7. He's got a pair of 7. He's got second pair.
Like you said, Thomas still has the best hand here with jacks, and the river is a 5. That doesn't change anything.
And Thomas is going to win this. He's got 2 pairs, jacks and 4s, with an ace kicker.
Check around.
And it checks around, and Thomas is going to take it down.
The same time I had, Ted.
And,
Sevens.
there it is. So we got this email from this guy, unsigned. I'm not going to read through the entire email, but I'll sum it up. It says basically it's a 1-2 no limit game where the max buy-in is $300. Okay. He says obviously it's 150 times the big line, but don't let that fool you. The game is playing extremely loose. The standard raise pre-flop is $25. And when I or some other players raise to like 10 or 15, 8 people take the flop. So there's a really loose, aggressive player in our game who raises about every single pot to $30 pre-flop and will call almost any bet post-flop. I think of him as kind of an 8-month-ago Corporation Mike. Is there anything else I can do in a game like this besides play extremely tight pre- and post-flop? Because obviously I can't call $30 raises with 9-10 suited, 5-6 suited, and small pocket pairs with only $200 in front of me.
Honestly, I mean, maybe you can go with a different answer. Honestly, no.
Yeah, I think you've got it
I mean,
right.
when you only have $300, you're correct in thinking, no, you cannot. One of the most important things you can do is really get in position. Now, if you know there's a maniac at your table
Right.
who's kind of like you said, Corporation Mike 8-9 months ago,
Yeah.
I would actually want to be to that player's right. And what I would be doing is I'd be limping in with my big hands, let him make his $30 raise, see what everybody else does, and then you can make the big re-raise.
Right.
Now, once you double up, once you build your $300 stack up to $600 or $700, well, then you can start playing some poker. Then you can start calling with 9-10 suited. You can start calling with, say, 5-6 suited. You can start calling with pocket fives. But until then, yeah, you really got to play it tight. And remember, the blinds are only 1-2. The one thing that you really have on your side is patience and time.
Well, again, and that's why, I always prefer, Dave, the unrestricted by no limit games, because you don't have to sit and wait around to get deep enough to start playing deep stack poker. In that game, you really do have to play tight and really only, make those, really be in there with high Broadway cards or high pairs until you get deep enough where you can start to make those.
I mean, I got to be telling you, even if somebody makes it a customary $15 raise, and you've got a hand like 7-6 suited, but you only have $275 in front of you, don't go in and don't fall for that trap. Wait for a big hand. Wait until you start getting up to like $500 or $600.
I will tell you though, when he says I make it 10 or 15 and 8 people take the flop, well then you have to be raising more with your premium hands for value.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be raising with, say, I'd be raising with only, until I'm tougher, I'd be raising with big pocket pairs.
Or ace king, right? Or,
Yeah, I guess you could raise with ace king also, yeah.
But you're going to raise more if 8
have
people are taking flops,
You almost have to, especially if you think one guy is going to call a $25 raise, hey, just get him to call you and get a heads up.
Right.
Obviously, you've got to adjust your raise to depending on how many players you want to see in the pot with you. But, I mean, keep in mind, the blinds are only 1-2. Think of how many hands you can see. It's only going to cost you $3 for every 9 or 10 hands. You can see 90 hands for like $30. You can really be patient in that game, can't you?
Yeah. Trip threes here for Sandra. And Sandra leads right out.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately for her, nobody's got an ace.
Yeah, no one has really anything to call here with. But Eric is going to call here with Queen Jack, it looks like. And he is pretty much drawing stone cold dead to running queens or running jacks here for a full house, right?
I got to tell you, what's up with the poker gods, man? It's Cheryl's birthday, and she can't buy a hand.
Yeah, turns a 9, and that's going to do it. I've got another email here from Greg Wooten. And I assume Eric is going to fold there. He says, hey, guys, I just wanted to let you know I caught you on the Circuit podcast a while ago, and I loved it. Must have listened to that show 5 times that day. You guys are some of the only people that actually give insightful advice freely, and I appreciate it. Your commentary on the show is excellent. I learn something each time I watch. Keep up the good work. Woo in St. Louis. And, of course, if you want to listen to that show on the Circuit, you can head over to cardplayer.com. Click on the Circuit. You can also go to iTunes. Check it out there. Subscribe to the free podcast. What is your problem?
I have no problem at all. What are you talking about?
If everyone goes, I'll go. Then.
No, I don't think your husband should go.
Oh, I see.
You guys want to go to Green Girl?
But moves over here to C5.
It's Woo in St. Louis.
I see Dave pressing on his cough button and saying something, and then everyone laughing at the background.
We're all talking about you.
Yeah, he's got some normal shit up to his normal shenanigans.
I mean, sometimes it can get really frustrating. It's almost like that game. If everybody remembers, Bart played on the show in the 10-20 game maybe 3-4 months ago, with actually a similar lineup that you're going to play in tomorrow night. And Bart, you almost played it the same way in the sense you only had $2,000, and the pre-flop raise was like $250 every time.
That game on Friday. That was probably one of the biggest Friday games we ever had. Don't you think?
It was huge.
Yeah.
And you look at a game like that, and in the end, you really just have to sit there and wait and be patient.
Because that's definitely short stacked in that game.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, I'm going to play on Friday. And I like the game. I think it's a good game, but I kind of wish that I was more in kind of more of a passive game so people could see me play a little bit more.
Well, maybe you'll get some cards.
Yeah. And I do definitely want to encourage Isaac to use the Bart cam. The Bart whole card cam tomorrow night.
Okay. I'll tell everybody what you have. Nobody will think you're tight. I'll just tell everybody. Oh, and he had 7-5 here. 9-3.
Thomas is going to bet here on a straight draw. And Cheryl, actually, I guess Cheryl bet on the button. And look at her face. She doesn't look pleased. That's kind of a tell that you can. I mean, if you saw that, she kind of almost looked like, oh, he called me.
Well, she still has the best hand here, but Thomas has got a lot of outs. You can catch a 5, a 6, a 3, or an 8.
And she's going to bet again here. She's going to bet $8, and he is going to call. And this pot is really big. She raised it on the button. He called again, and the river's a 4.
He missed. He missed.
Now,
Cheryl's going to win this pot.
I think she's all in. And she's probably very surprised that she's going to win here with King Queen.
I missed.
Wow, she's going to win it with
He's
King
got
Queen.
6 high. King high is going to win this. Your best 5 cards obviously play, so both players are pair 4s.
She missed Cheryl. He missed Cheryl. He missed. She can't believe it.
Yeah.
Straight, but I had too many possible ways to get straight.
Well, it's funny, and then you look at that board, you go, what did he miss? Ace 4 deuce, rainbow.
Dave,
What do you say?
you have to read this email here from Avi in New York.
Okay.
Only you.
This one's for David. I've been watching you guys every night for a few months now, and I really enjoy it. We have a home game here with my Jewish buddies, and we're thinking of calling it Live at the Kikes, as we are all Jewish. Okay? David, as you said, I can say it because I am one.
Right.
Thanks, and keep up the good work. Avi in New York. Okay. By the way, a lot of places want you to have a working stack to keep the action moving if you have a rack on the table.
Right,
Yeah.
which is what you talked
Yeah.
about, obviously, right?
That's great.
I moved over here to seat 6.
I'll be out in New York.
Thanks for not dragging the family down anymore.
Now, I have a home game, too, but we let Jewish people in and Catholics,
Gentiles.
anything, Muslim, I don't care.
Wow.
You have money, you come. You have money, you're willing to drink and have a good time, you are welcome at my house for my home game.
3-way action here. King 7 Jack. When's the last time you've actually
We
done
even
a home
take
game?
atheists.
Really?
Yeah.
When's the last time you've done a home game?
I think it was Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Super Bowl. Yeah, pretty sure. Ronnie left and Ray left, so they didn't even play. It was just the 4 of us. It was me,
You know,
you,
it's
Melissa,
funny.
and Isaac.
Mo said he takes, obviously, the weekends off from poker. He's
Right.
down here during the week. But he says he almost has a weekly home game with his wife, himself, and some of their friends, and they play kind of like a $20 tournament almost every Saturday.
I don't doubt that. I mean, I'm sure that, and Sandra's going to take this down. Mo's wife likes it, and my wife's actually talking about playing as well. She goes, hey, let's get a home game going. We should get a weekly home game, because she wants to play. It's fun for her. And obviously, when you're playing a home game and you're drinking, you got a barbecue going, it's not the same thing. You know, you're playing for fun. You're,
Right. Although you said when we played that little tournament, we were actually we were trying to win.
Well, it's more of an ego thing than a
Right,
money
right.
thing. It's a lot different. It's not like if I get a bad beat, I'm going to like really be upset.
That, of course, is when Dave sucked out on my aces pre-flop. Pocket aces.
I thought I had the best hand the whole way. Didn't most of the money go in after I had you beat already?
No, I think it all went into the flop.
Yeah, I had you beat already.
Right.
That's the classic Queen Deuce for Isaac. That was fun. I won like $60, $80 that night. It was great.
I actually won some money on Ben Roethlisberger scoring his first touchdown.
Oh, right,
in
Super
the
Bowl.
Super Bowl game.
All right, Super Bowl was a lot of fun at our house. That was a good time. Good food, good poker. Although I got to say, all the food that I ended up spending, the money on the food and everything, the poker winnings barely even covered that. So I didn't feel bad taking it.
10-8-8 here with a couple diamonds.
And I believe nobody's got anything, huh? Best hand right now is Thomas with Ace Jack.
Check to you. They're going to bite off that bone, man. Everything fell from the shit.
And got a post on here from Apple 11. He says, Jonas going to be in the booth tomorrow. Well, Jonas is actually in Vegas. He actually called Mo last second last night to cancel.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be in the game last night.
But
so.
we will have Jason Constantani in the booth tomorrow night. We will have Corporation Mike in the booth. We will have...
Did Katsutani agree? Did Jay
Yes.
agree to come in the booth?
Yeah, he's going to be in the booth. Mike's going to be in the booth.
I hope you can extract some. I don't know, man.
They can't wait to get in the booth. They're like dying to be in the booth to talk about you.
Well, Jay is a really nice guy, but he's actually kind of shy. And I hope you actually have the opportunity to talk some poker. I hope he opens up a little bit. You know.
And it looks like...
Well, Lee's
Wow, look
bet
at this.
with ace high, and Eric is going to call with a straight draw. Now, his 6 is no good. Well, the river is an 8, and they're going to chop this one up. We got a full house on board here. If Eric caught a 6, it would be no good, but a 9
A 9
actually
or
would
7
be
would have been good.
And they're chop, chop.
Chopping it?
I use those 5 plus ace high.
That pot was a monster pot, shit. It's ridiculous. I don't know.
Let's each give her one, Aaron. Don't forget.
No, I'm having a better night than you. I'll give her 2.
Gotta
I agree.
um,
It's gonna be very funny when I drop.
email here again from Jared. He says, "Hi Bart and Dave. How did you guys get into propping? What's the highest stake game you've ever played?
With one eye open, surrounded.
Lastly, what is your largest win in one session?" I got to tell you, last night, not necessarily my largest win, but I was telling you how we were running bad. I went home last night and I played 30-60 Party.
Omaha?
Omaha High-Low. One table, I had a couple beers and I was watching some TiVo Lost and Boston Legal. I won $4,500 in 2 hours from one table. It was great.
That's phenomenal.
In a 30-60 limit game. Yeah.
Really takes the edge off of Boston Legal.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry. What a bad beat.
I love that show, man. I can tell you, Lost is great too. You're missing out if you're watching.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm missing out.
Did you watch it, Isaac? Last night? No.
I went through all my chips. Why is this chip jack?
How can I watch that? I mean, I've got American Idol to watch and all those other reality shows. Who can keep up?
You don't watch a lot of TV, do you?
No.
No.
I told you I watch sports
Right.
and poker, and I'll watch.
You don't watch like The Simpsons or Seinfeld?
I love The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I do love The Simpsons, but I'm really home to watch it.
10-6-10 here. Look at this. Eric's got trip 10s. Let's see if he bets out here in seat 9.
I do watch I Love Lucy, believe it or not, in
Sure.
the mornings.
Cheryl's got the nut flush draw here. Oh, now Eric checks the trip 10s.
Yeah, why not? Hey, you know what? He's got to mix it up. One time he bets it. Remember, he bet his quads. You don't want to be really predictable.
Now, Tony.
Nice.
Oh, look at this. Tony's bet, and Cheryl is going to raise with the nut flush draw. Now, I don't know. I got to tell you, obviously, Cheryl, she's played at higher levels. I actually don't know about that play on a paired board. Now, if you are the type of player that would raise with a 10,
yeah, I don't mind the play at all because she gets a lot of information now. Now number 2 is out. But wait a second, 9, who checked, just called.
Right.
And now
Oh,
she
yeah,
knows
yeah.
he's got a 10.
well, I was kind of more thinking of you open yourself up maybe to a re-raise, and she hits the nut flush here on
Yeah.
the turn.
She does, but this way she gets a lot of information by raising, and they check it. No,
No,
he checks.
she's going to bet. Yeah, she's going to bet 20. And I don't think he's going anywhere.
He's got trip 10s. Really tough to go. I mean, he does have outs, obviously. We see that she's a 3-1 favorite here.
And I got to tell you, the other thing, too, that's interesting about kind of these guys who kind of beginners to the game, he is thinking that he could be beat. Whereas in a bigger game, these guys would be all in already with trip 10s,
And we're going to see the river. The river's a 4 of hearts.
Yeah.
Changes nothing.
Kills her action, but she did put money in on.
Yeah, I mean,
And again, he really can't
she's
call.
built up a nice pot. This pot is about $80 ready.
All in.
And she is going to move all in.
Yeah, for about $25. So the pot's 105.25 to call. He's getting almost 4 or 5 to 1.
And he's going to call this.
Yeah, but remember, his hand is really only a bluff catcher. here.
Happy birthday to Cheryl. There
I
you
mean,
go.
if Cheryl had actually raised there, Dave, with a 10 on the flop, do you really think she would bet the river if she didn't have a heart, right?
A lot of money, bro.
Would you ever bet if you had a 10 there on the river?
To try to get somebody off a smaller heart.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
I mean, isn't it real? Let's say some guy's got like, for some reason he's in the blind and he's got like 10, I don't even know. I mean, 10-8 with the 8 of hearts. Will he call you? He might not. Who knows?
So the
Go ahead.
how do we get into propping?
How'd you get into?
Well,
Go ahead. First one.
How did I get into propping? I was playing here.
I don't know where you work, but I work on the design.
Do you remember me coming here when I wasn't a prop for a little
I
while?
do.
You do. We first kind of met. I think we
Yeah.
actually talked about
Larry
like Syracuse on my bag, right?
Well, Larry introduced me to you, and I wasn't
Yeah.
really interested in becoming friends with you until I knew you were going to prop him.
Oh, really?
Because I've seen so many people come in
Oh, really?
trying to be a prop.
Oh, you didn't even want to deal with. Yeah.
I was like, okay, when he gets hired, I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
Until then, leave me alone.
What an ass. What an ass.
No, I was like, you don't know how many people would come in here and go, do you remember that guy prop?
Steve Guthrie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We used to have this rule, like,
Yeah.
when I was actually friends with Betty,
Yeah.
we used to always joke around and go, okay,
We can talk about these props, by the way, Evelyn, because none of them work here anymore.
right.
Yeah.
Betty doesn't work anymore?
No, she left.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah.
Pike is really missing out. That was just a friendly woman. Anyway, though, she used to always have the rule of, I am not going to even learn the prop's name until they're here a month.
Oh, it's actually
It's,
not. Yeah.
it's not a bad rule.
Yeah.
Steve lasted like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Something's vibrating, girls.
So anyways, yeah, I had just been playing, and then Robert Turner, who used to be the head of the props at that time, I was interested in becoming a prop because I at that time thought, what a great deal, get paid to play poker. I beat the game anyways.
It's a good deal.
It's just, an added bonus. How did you get into it?
Pretty much the same thing.
Oh, nice. Nice flop.
I read about it in a book, and I was like, propping, what's that? And I was like, wow, that sounds like a good deal. So I came into the bike, and my wife actually liked playing here, and we were playing, I'd say once or twice a week. And we'd come down here
At what level were you playing before you were propping?
I was playing 10-20.
Because there used to be a 10-20 game here, when I first started. Yeah.
I was playing a 10-20 game regularly with Barbara.
I do
Gallimore,
remember Barbara, yeah.
And Betty was in that game as well.
Yeah.
On a regular
and Tom, right?
I actually thought
Tom?
Betty was the biggest fish in the game, which is why when Betty was in the game, I'd be like, ooh, I'd love it.
Really? She was a pretty solid limit player.
I swear.
Isn't she?
I know, but before I knew who she was,
Yeah.
I just knew she was here every day, and I said, wow, she's such a fish. And she always seemed like she was down.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. Anyway.
And Tom, right?
Tom was here. They were all here, and I became friends with Tom. And then I approached Robert about propping, and he said, you're first up. 3 or 4 months later, and a lot of insistence from Tom to get into the prop, I finally got hired.
Well, the funny thing now is a lot of people always email us about propping here. They have a real shortage of upper limit props. I think you can actually really come down here and express interest. There's Claire with aces. Today, who is a lady now that has Robert's job, I believe.
And you can do it today.
Yes.
Today you can come and talk today.
Ask for Day, or call the plaza up and ask for Day.
You get it? You get it?
Yes.
Today you can come in and talk today.
You can call the bike up and ask for the Upper Poker
kill
Plaza
me.
and ask for Day and speak with her. Claire is raised here because I think there's only 3 props right now. There's a new guy. There's Sean. There's Sean and Andy Lou. I
Right.
think those are the only props that are here in the upper level now. Of course, we have props at the lower level, and that
Right.
Alan, of course, is who used to play this on the show a lot. He's
props-
a prop, but he's actually
He's like
at the
8 in
lower
the
level.
morning to like 5 at night or something like that. 8 in the morning, 3 p.m. something
Wow,
like that.
top 2 here for Ted. Now is Claire going to get in trouble here, Dave?
I got to tell you, in this game, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And I can't blame her. You know?
Well, again, I mean, we've seen that people. And look at this. Ted's going to bet right into the top, right into the razor here.
Yep.
Now, again, you really. King 10 is a speculative hand to call a raise with, but he's in the big blind, and it was just a mini raise, so it's almost like a limit game. He's calling the big blind
why not?
with 2 Broadway cards.
And Claire's going to call this, and she does it out. She can catch an ace or a deuce right now.
Yep.
Well, now her outs are really, really limited, obviously, because now she cannot catch the ace of spades. She can also not catch, she gets a deuce, a 5, or the ace of clubs specifically.
And he's going to bet out here again.
I mean, he's got a monster here. He's got top 2 with the king of spades. Well, propping is pretty much what it is, I mean, you're getting paid to play poker.
$10.
He bets $10 here. And it looks like she's just going to call here again. And she does. And the river here is a jack, and Ted still has the best hand and probably should value bet here again.
Oh,
And
no
the
brainer.
question now is, though, what do you put her on? I mean, is it tough at this level?
I put her on 2 red aces.
Yeah, right.
Definitely. There's no doubt she has anything else.
He checked it
Except
to her.
that.
He checked it to her on the river here.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He's got chips in
Oh,
front
wait a
of him.
minute. I thought the dealer said check. You're right.
Oh.
He bet 10 again, it looked like.
Not much she can beat here. How about, what do you put him on? I mean, the thing is, though, in this game, I mean, couldn't you just put him on king, queen? The problem is when the jack comes down, it's one more hand you can't beat. Now you can't beat king, jack either. Right? You can't beat a flush. You can't beat king, jack. You can't beat king 10. You can still beat king, queen, or obviously any other king. You can beat king 9, king 8. Ted has really shown some strength here, though. And you got to give Claire credit. At least she's really thinking this
she's
through.
just going to call, and he's going to win here with 2.
I got to tell you, for $10, I'd probably call it also.
Now, again, more on that
Go
question
ahead.
about propping, because a lot of people ask us. So do you think that, and I look at maybe propping as, I think it's almost like a short-term thing. I think you get into propping and it actually gets you on a schedule where you have to come here and actually play, which almost is like practice for you to kind of become pro. We talked about how propping is almost like, say, semi-pro. But once you really get good enough, I think you realize that propping, if you're really good enough, I think you lose too much by propping as opposed to being on your own, right?
Probably. I mean, game selection is just a big part of the game.
And that's why people don't prop for 10, 20 years. You know, it's just...
Having said that, though, I mean, propping, obviously, there are a lot of benefits of being a prop. You know, try getting a mortgage, try getting a loan, being a professional poker player. It really does help you.
Right.
The benefits also are great. And like you said, I mean, being on a schedule really does help.
Other question, what's the highest stake game you've ever played? You played a little 8160 in Vegas last summer,
I played,
right?
yeah, 8160 limit is the highest I've
No,
ever
obviously
played.
you've played the 2550 no limit game,
And
right?
2550 no limit is the highest I've ever played in no limit.
I played 8160 mix game here a couple times, which was EO,
Right.
Omaha high-low, and stud high-low. And biggest no limit probably is 1020. I've never played up. I mean, you've only really played that 2550 game a couple of times, right?
A couple times. I played it
Yeah.
once in Vegas and,
Yeah.
and once here.
Yeah.
That was it.
Three-way action here. Queen Jack 7 with a couple clubs.
Well, top pair for Ted.
Yeah.
Ted's got top pair, top kicker. He also has the ace of clubs in his hand that makes it a real strong hand. Now, the reason why it's a strong hand having the ace of clubs, Ted knows that nobody else has the nut flush draw. Nobody else possibly can have the nut flush draw because he's got the ace of clubs in his hand. It's kind of like the gin card.
And Thomas calls. Turn is a king, and
Wow.
now Thomas turns two pair here.
Now, Ted's got outs, though. Ted can catch an ace, a queen, or a 10 to win this hand.
And he bets here.
And he only bet $6, and that's kind of pricing you in. I think you can call this. Don't you?
Well, ace, like you said, ace, queen, or 10 here. I mean, it's
Yeah.
basically...
But he's going to call.
He's got, what, 10, 11 outs here?
Yeah. I mean, he's a 4-1 dog, but the guy's certainly giving the outs there.
Oh, river's a deuce.
Now, I would not be an advocate for obviously trying to bluff in this game,
Yeah.
but that really would be a great card. Now, since you have the ace of clubs in your hand, you know your other opponent can have the nut flush,
Right.
and you can represent it. Now, I don't recommend it in this game.
Lastly, what's your largest win in one session? Now, you just had a huge win, what was it, maybe a month ago in the 10-20 no limit game?
I actually had a huge win, like, right at the beginning of May, I won 7,300.
Right.
I think that's... I want to say, yeah, my two biggest wins were both in the, say, the $7,000, $8,000 ranges. That does obviously not counting tournaments. I'm talking about cash game, obviously, right?
My actually biggest live session win was actually at the other casino. The first week I was propping here. Remember, I would go over there during the LA Poker Classic, and I won $6,500 over 5 hours in 30-60 Omaha, which again, in a 30-60 limit game is a real feat.
Oh, it's
in a
that's
split
enormous.
pot game.
In a split pot game?
Yeah, it was incredible.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Now, I know what's your largest tournament win?
Well, I won that tournament, it was a couple months ago online, which was about 12,000.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you have? You've had a couple, what, 6,000, 7,000?
I had a couple, a couple 9,000 ones.
Yeah. Four-way action here, limped around.
But I mean, we always talk about styles in the sense of if you look at a good poker player, a real good poker player, rarely will a solid poker player be the big winner of the night or the big loser. And I think Bart and I are in the same sense. We're not going to win like Carlos won 29,000 last night in probably 4 hours.
Or remember Adam a couple weeks before won 19,000 in 2 hours.
That is very rarely going to happen to Bart or I, simply because we're just not playing that many hands.
Right.
But on the same hand, our swings aren't going to be that drastic. You're rarely going to see Bart or I losing $15,000 or $18,000 in one night.
Email here from
Yes, I hope so.
Lance Schmidt. He says, first of all, you guys kicked ass on the circuit. One of their best shows ever. Many casinos don't allow racks on the table if they have bad beat jackpots because they fear someone are holding cards back. Well, we actually have bad beat jackpots here. We allow racks on the table, but we don't allow cash to play on the table now because of that.
Well, it's funny. Well, cash is not transparent. The racks are.
Right.
But probably another good reason why. I mean, obviously, you could easily put the cards underneath the rack there.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, our casino probably should take that into account and not allow racks.
Now, we've got a couple of emails here about the circuit. Has anybody listened to my interview over at bigpoker.ca? Jesus.
Please, somebody, just go to liveatthebike.com, click on Bart's bio, and just go listen to his circuit with his interview.
Rounders the Poker Show.
Yeah, okay. I listened to it.
Did you?
No.
No.
I'll listen to it later, though, I promise. Eric's got Trip 7s here.
I mentioned your name a couple of times. You guys are too much.
Hi.
Oh, man.
We hear you every day.
Oh.
Sandra leads out with a 9. Now, Eric. Now, seat 8 is called with a gut shot. And look at this. Eric is just going to call now. He's not going to raise with 3 sevens.
Hey, you know what? Maybe I'll ask Cheryl and Ted to celebrate their birthday. They can all come over to my house and we'll listen to your show. See how that works out. Well, Thomas has actually got a double gutter now. He can pick a 4 or an 8 up.
Now, Sandra, she actually pairs her kicker, but obviously it makes no difference because
No, yeah,
there's
that-
a pair of 7s on board.
It makes it look prettier, but
Right.
3 pair do not play. Obviously, she just has 9s and 7s with a 3 kicker. She still can't beat ace-9. Ace-9 is better than 9-3 here. Obviously, your third pair of 3s do not count. Now, Thomas has picked up a draw, and he's in there. And Eric is going to just smooth call. And we're going to see this 3 ways. And the pot is now, I want to say, almost $50.
Smoking, baby.
Oh, and Eric's made quads twice. What are the odds of that tonight? He's made
And I got
quads
to tell
twice.
you, if he value bets here, can Sandra get away from a 9?
Sandra might continue to bet. Remember, Sandra's bet the whole way here, Dave. And now she checks.
Well, I mean,
I got to tell you, if I have a 7 here and I play it in this manner, yeah, he moves all in. I don't mind the bet. I don't know if Sandra's going to fold here. I mean, the pot is big enough where this is basically a pot-sized bet.
can I ask you something?
What?
Would you move all in with a 9 here?
Well, that's exactly. No, again, you might move in with a 9 to get somebody else off of a 9.
That's what I mean. And I got to tell you, if you're Sandra, if somebody moves all in with a 9, I throw this away because at best,
And she throws it away, Dave.
it's a great lay down by Sandra because Sandra's got to realize at best you're chopping the pot. You're putting in 100 to win 25.
Now, once again, and look, it shows the quads. Now, the other time he didn't show. This time he does show. I got to say, though, again, when you talk about on a Wednesday or Friday night, how many people lay down a 9 there if the guy moved in? Now, better players probably would, but would an Allen lay down a 9 there? Top full house?
Probably not.
Yeah.
We saw Allen actually against Kenny Wynn, where he had a straight, a one-liner last night with
Right.
a jack, and he lost it when Kenny Wynn had a higher straight.
Right.
And that's just a trap. I mean, you got to realize you don't want to be putting your money in when at best you're chopping the pot. It's kind of like you take a page out of the split pot games.
Right.
Like if you're playing stud high low or Omaha 8 or better, you really don't want to be going for half the pot. You want hands that can win the whole pot.
Right.
You. Well, the same thing goes in no limit hold'em. You don't want to put your money in when only you're going to get your money out.
Email here from Serge from downtown Montreal. Says, hi there, I've got a question. My wife and I will be around in July. What is the smallest no-limit blind game at the Bicycle Casino? Well, we have a $40 no-limit game, right?
Hey, what are the blinds in that game? 1-2?
I think they're 1-2. Yeah, and they use the blue chips.
Yeah.
40, 80, 100, 200, 3 to 5, 500 uncapped, and then 1,000 uncapped, and so
And
on.
higher
And so on.
odds. But we've got the $40 game. We also have this game. And this game, I mean, if you come to the casino and say $150, you can play this game for quite a while.
Yep.
And have a good time.
And look at this, Sandra Dave. She's bet here, and Tony is dominated. Is Tony going to get in trouble here with that off and hand with King Queen? Now, Thomas is called with an open-ended straight draw in seat 8. Actually, look at this. Thomas raised with the draw here, Dave. A bet by Sandra with ace queen. Thomas is raised. It's now over to Brian, who's just got middle pair here. He's got a gut shot to the 9. And the question now is, you've got a bet from up front in a raise, and now you've got a call in between. Do you just get out of there with king queen? He doesn't really have any backdoor draw. Bet, raise, call. But he calls.
All you can beat is queen jack, right?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
And we still got 4 people in the hand. Turn is a 6, and ace queen is still good here. But remember, Thomas was the raiser on the flop with the open-ended straight draw.
Well, this game is definitely playing a little bit more like a limit game than a no-limit game. And, in a limit game, rarely do you see somebody throw away king-queen.
Right.
Got an email here from Ben L. out of Long Island, New York. Get into it in a second.
Well, it's actually, that was the guy that emailed
Right.
us before, the unsigned email. Now, it's funny, in a limit game, if you've got a solid player betting on the flop and a raise, and say the pot was limped around, and say you had limped in with king, queen in mid position, which a lot of times you might not do because you might be raising that, obviously. Do you get away from it? Do you three-bet it? Do you cold call? What's the deal?
I mean, I hate to say it again, but it depends. It depends who's the better and who's the raiser.
Right.
Could somebody be betting a hand as weak as just ace blank, nothing, and somebody raising would say queen nothing, or even a 10. But that kind of flop there, queen 10-8. You got a better and a raiser. I'm probably picking a better spot for my money. And you can see what bad shape he's in. He's only 5% chance of winning this pot. Sandra's an overwhelming favorite. Thomas is still open-ended, though.
Nobody knows it.
Wow, ace-queen is out. Ace-queen, Sandra threw it away.
Wow.
Sandra threw away ace-queen.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And now the best hand, suddenly, Tony's in the lead with king-queen.
Oh, yeah, in the industrial? Yeah. The light comes on. Oh, I'm good.
Okay.
And the river is a 10. And look at this, Brian backs into trips.
Brian's going to win this, and this is...
Wait a minute. No, I don't think Brian's in the hand. Did he fold as well?
Brian did fold, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So king-queen is going to win it.
Yeah, Ronnie screwed it up again. Sorry, guys. Apologize. I think Ronnie is clearly 5150 or 390. 390. Definitely 390.
The lovely Tracy.
Maybe Ronnie is
right there.
11150. These are, by the way, these are dispatch. 1150 is, these are dispatch codes, by the way. 5150 is crazy. 1150 is on drugs. 11150 is on drugs. And 390 is drunk.
Hey, Donna, ask the table out loud. Everybody at the table, is 420 really the code for pot?
Hey, Mark Lee wants to know, is 420 really the code for pot?
Yes.
Yes, and they're not laughing, Dave.
You asked the worst question.
It's not an official code.
They're not laughing.
Once again, I want to point
Look at
out.
C3. Oh, man.
Once again, I want to point out that these questions, these inane questions, are being asked by Bart Hansen.
Is this stuff good?
I check.
All right, we got queens for Ted.
Queens. That's got to be one of the funniest things.
Thanks, Ted.
Oh, no, it was dead quiet.
And clearly Bart is 11150.
High on life, Dave.
We're going to see a couple of callers here. We're going to see about a $25 pot to the flop. And there it is, Jack 7-7. And look at that, Sandra has flop trip 7.
And Ted's got the over.
And I got to tell you, she might get some action here. Now, Lee obviously has got nothing. He's got a pair of fours, 2 pair, but not really good. You know Ted is going to bet this, and I'm not sure if Ted is experienced enough to get away from an overpair. And if you're Sandra, do you raise right away? Now she's going to smooth call. Pot is now about $35.
The only thing about sometimes raising right away with trips in this game is because it's kind of playing like a limit game. You might actually raise the flop, and Ted might just kind of move into check call mode, as opposed to maybe in a bigger game where guys might push again with queens over the top, right?
Yeah, I mean it's one of those funny things where in this game, he goes, well, I would play sevens that way, so maybe she does have a 7.
Right.
Everybody's kind of playing it straightforward, so maybe you do play backwards here a little bit. Well, either way, she's gotten the. She's just smooth called here, and Lee is thinking of overcalling at the 4s, but he's not going to. The turn is going to be a 4. No, it's a king.
Yeah, that would be something. Now Sandra fills up.
Yeah, and that's a card that might be able to save Ted here.
Yeah, it's a bad card for Sandra in the fact that Ted might get away from the hand.
Exactly, and Ted is going to check it.
Back to you, Phil.
And
she's going to bet 6 here. And this is another reason why, though, like maybe in a different game, or, just in any game, why you would actually raise there with trip 7s. And the river is a jack.
And now Ted can beat nothing.
Yeah, and now
he can beat absolutely nothing.
I got you guys for $20 on this game, though.
Although know, if he had a jack, he beat Sandra's hand now. Isn't that amazing?
No, definitely. Well, Sandra can't beat anything really either. Think about it.
Yeah,
Sandra can't beat much either.
Is that right? 16
Well, she
points
can beat
is good enough?
aces. She can beat ace king.
No, that, I mean,
And he bets. He bets 10.
and you might just get
She's going to move in.
Big
Wow.
handed move. I like it.
And like, I think Ted can get away from this hand. Maybe you put her on a jack, Dave, right? That's probably what you think
well,
she has.
she's raising you. What can you beat with queens here? You can't beat a king. You can't beat a 7. You can't beat a jack. You can't beat hearts. You can really beat nothing.
Well, it's 15 more. The pot's maybe 100. And he calls.
Sevens with the king.
And she's going to win there at the full house. But again, you know, kind of part of the reason why you actually like to get some money in on that flop is because if the
Can we
guy,
leave that flop for 1 second? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
if that guy has queens there, a better player or might, you know, it makes it easier to get away from queens when a king comes on.
Oh, definitely. I want to give you a good play, by the way. If you have king jack on this board, let's say your opponent bet into you, you called him with the jack, but you had king jack, okay? And somehow the river pairs the board as a jack, and you think your opponent has a jack,
Oh, yeah.
you really overbet the river.
Yeah.
You overbet it because rarely can a player get away from jacks full there.
Right.
Even though they have pretty much
As do you do it any time, Dave, when you have a double paired board, you have top full house, but your kicker plays pairing even a higher full house, and you don't think the guy can get away from what is top full house on the board.
Right, exactly. I mean, in that case, if somebody else has a jack in their hand,
Yeah.
they can only lose to pocket 7s and king jack.
Right. And pocket kings.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. But oftentimes players have trouble getting away from that hand.
Chris Land emails and says, I'm with you on the Roethlisberger bet, Mark. I made the same bet. I actually won some good money. Well, actually, it wasn't a bet. I actually picked the name out of a
Yeah,
hat.
Chris, I want to give you credit for actually picking Roethlisberger. With Bart, it was just dumb luck. He pulled him out of a hat.
You had a couple of good ones, though, too, didn't you?
I did. I had like, I don't remember what I had.
Pocket aces here for Lee.
Oh, I had Jerome Bettis.
That's right.
I had the bus.
And Lee raises to 20 here, Dave. It's kind of the first big raise pre-flop that we've seen tonight.
Well, he's got to win a pot. He wants to win a darn pot today.
Glass off for a second place.
Why don't I just flip over my cards and show you so you can see?
I flipped mine over, but I tell you.
Email here from another unsigned. Does the bike spread any pot limit Omaha games? I assume that means pot limit Omaha High. Not really. We did a little bit
Occasionally.
when those two Texas kids were in town.
Yeah, we'll do it occasionally, especially during tournament times.
Well, actually does it like for a little bit in the afternoon, maybe, you know, something like that.
I mean, if you come down here and you want to play pot limit Omaha, Mo will spread it for you.
Yeah, because he'll play in it. Yeah.
Definitely. He will spread it for you. I will play in it. Bart will play in it.
Well,
And you'll probably get a couple of the players. You'll probably play 6 or 7 handed. And then enough people will get curious about it, they'll jump in.
I'm gonna win $3 the hard way, man. I gotta get a W.
somebody got to call that.
Huh? Hey, it's all
Once
about
again,
the
we're
same.
live at the bike. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen, and it's birthday night. It's Cheryl's birthday
Oh, here we go.
in seat number 5.
Here we go.
20.
And seat number 1, Brian is thinking about this. He's asked Lee how much money he's got left. Brian making him sweat it out. I don't think Lee's sweating it, though. He's got aces.
No, I gotta go.
And Brian throws it away.
Got an interesting post here by the guy 123 on 2+2. He says, Dave and Bart,
Yeah, that's it.
for a long time now, you guys have helped improve so many people's games, including my own. Do you guys ever worry this information you're providing will come back and hurt you when you play? Do you guys sometimes think when you're playing, quote unquote, my opponent watches the show, so he knows I'll bet my strong hands this way, so I'll bet it this way? Also, because you're playing for a living, do people try to run you over or to try to prove themselves that they can outplay you or maybe, you know, try to bluff you and such? Well, it's funny, you know, I actually played a hand I was saying about it. I talked about it last night with that guy Rick, who was on the show on Tuesday. I actually flopped a flush on him. I hopped into a 3-5 game on Tuesday night. And usually 90% of the time, he was the pre-flop laser. I called with 6-7 hearts. I flopped the flush. I will bet out. It was a king-high board. But against him, I actually check-raised him, Dave, because I knew he was so familiar with the show. You know?
I mean, obviously, we mix up our
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
But do you worry at all?
Not really. I just...
I mean, I got to be honest. I mean, hopefully, I mean, like we always say, game selection is probably half the battle.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick a game against the people that are watching our show.
Right.
I don't want to play against 9 people that watch live at the bike.
Yeah.
Because if you're watching Live at the Bike, that means you like poker. That means you're a poker student. You want to become a better poker player, and you're probably pretty good.
Can you say that word again, student?
Student? You like that?
Sure, I guess it's my winning.
So, and that's not really the game I'm looking to play.
Right,
I'm playing in the game. I'm looking for the game where the guys who are just, just here to have a good time,
7 players. Some love over here. I need some love.
and they're probably not watching it.
7-way action here.
Nice.
Queen 4-10. I think there was a little mini raise somewhere by Sandra on seat 6, and she's hit top pair here. Again, she kind of made it a limit. And look at this. Everybody's in for a $6 raise, so the pot is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's about a $40 pot here.
Oh, I check.
Now, we got another King Jack in there, Dave, in seat 2, open-ended, not a bad flop. It's a rainbow board as well.
Yeah.
That's so easy, says Sam.
And she's going to bet 5 into a $40 pot here.
Yeah, obviously not enough to get what she wants.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, and look at this. Thomas is going to raise. It's a 10 with Ace Jack. He's got a gut shot to the king.
Yeah. And he's in terrible shape, obviously. You can see he needs a king and only a king to win this, and there's only 2 left in the deck.
Well, Tony can obviously call here.
And I got to tell you, after he raises it to 10, and you get a call from Tony,
Yeah.
I'm all in if I'm
You
Sandra.
should really push there, right? He
Definitely.
opens it up with
Take
Ace
it
Queen.
down.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, I just forfeited a
But
hand.
she's probably just going to call here. Kind of that's what the pattern has been. She really should re-raise here. Yeah, she just calls.
Definitely.
Kind of seems like everyone kind of gets into a defensive mode when somebody raises them.
3-player.
Turns a 3. Ace Queen is still good here. Now, how about Tony takes a card here? He min-raised it. You got 2 people in there pretty much calling with anything, but she's not going to give him a free card. She's going to lead right out into the flop raiser.
Good for her. She gets $10.
$10 into a $70 pot.
And look, and Thomas is still going to call. He's going for that king. He's only got 2 outs in the whole deck.
And I think that Tony can once again call. I mean, this is almost like he said, almost like a limit thing. He's got 8 outs. He's getting about 8 to 1 on his money.
Yeah, well, he's got king jack. It's a lot different, obviously.
And the river's a queen, and she's got 3 queens.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why you want to turn a little bit more money. Obviously, you want to charge your opponents to go for their draws, but at the same time, you're not going to get paid now because your opponents have missed their draw. So you want to put that money in beforehand. Now, to answer that other question the guy said, he was talking about, do players ever take shots at you because you're pros and they want to kind of... And yeah, I mean, once in a while, somebody, they take a lot of pleasure into like, oh, I bluffed out a pro. Or I called down a pro.
What is it?
More often than not, I'm not really worried about it, though.
This is interesting here. We had a post here on 2+2 by Johnny. Gave me a link to Amazon.com. There's a book called The Prop, and it's a story by Pete Hotman, and it's a story about, it's a crime thriller for young adults. It's about an attractive woman in her 40s who's a prop hired to keep his short-handed poker games going at a casino owned by a Native American tribe near Tucson, Arizona. She gets paid $110 per 8-hour shift plus health insurance. And it's a story about her life.
8 hours?
Well,
Man.
Depends on.
Very good. Thank you.
I mean, depends on what level, right?
Yeah. What's the move? What's it about? Give me the. Is there like a summary there or something?
Kiki's life takes a few sharp turns after some crooked dealers find a new way to steal money
I don't know what's it been all day.
and make her an unwilling accomplice. Wow.
The prop.
How the hell do you how do some of these people find this stuff?
Hey man, always looking for the next great book.
Yeah. Pajeto said he listened to the Rounders, the poker show today. I also gave Ronnie your message, Jay.
Hey, by the way, Jay Siegel, Pajeto, the potato of the show,
Right.
is currently playing an Omaha High-Low tournament online,
Yep.
and he has 30,000 chips.
28th place.
He's out.
Oh, he's out.
New update.
Yeah,
He's out.
He's out. 8:49.
The
minute
potato
ago.
is gone.
What
the
a
potato is
bubble.
gone.
Call him the bubble boy.
117 entries, and you're gone. Nice job, that potato head.
Wu says he listened to Rounders. He liked it. Thank you, Wu. Email here from Vance Woodward. He says, I've been playing Hold'em profitably for a couple of years now, and I've logged around 1,200 hours. I tried playing Omaha just for something new, but it seems like the players are tougher and more experienced than typical Hold'em players. Why did you start playing Omaha? I got to tell you, I can't actually disagree more. I find even the people that play it a lot don't really play it well. Which I think Shirley, who plays a lot of Omaha, would agree with me. The fundamental. I mean, you necessarily haven't played at the high levels, but you played some Alive 2040 here, right?
I played 3060. I don't understand it at all. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I have very little Omaha high-low experience, and I find the players extremely weak.
Yeah. I would say the biggest problem, the major problem.
3 ways here. Pot is about $15. $9.93. Sorry, go ahead.
And I got 2 things to add about
Everybody
Omaha.
misses.
Major problem with people who play Omaha.
Birthday girl's going to bet it anyway, though.
Birthday girl, you got to call.
I'm sorry, I'm just jumping all over you, man.
Okay.
But Cheryl's in a hand.
She bet with ace high. I assume she's going to take it down here.
Take it down, Cheryl.
The major problem, Dave, with Omaha players.
Show the bluff. Show the bluff. No, she doesn't show it.
Major problem with Omaha players is on a flop with 2 low cards, people tend to push with like something like as little as top 2 pair with no low draw. And you really should get out.
Every time.
We can't go anywhere with you two.
Because she's winning.
You should really get out of the hands when you have no low draw. I mean, even if you have bottom set on a board, on a flop in Omaha high-low, and there are 2 low cards out there, and you have no low draw, it's an easy fold. Because, again, we talk about what is the concept of a high-low game. Scooping a pot, right?
You're right, it is a beer.
So people really overplay marginal hands on when there's 2 low cards. With an overpair and there's 2 low cards on the flop, it's an easy fold.
I mean, yeah.
You know?
You've got to really look at it.
If you limped if you limped in with King King Deuce 3 or King King Deuce 4 or something like that, and the flop comes 7 8 4, all right, counterfeiting one of your low. That's an easy fold with King King Deuce 4. You know?
Yeah.
There's just
You've got to realize, in whether you're playing a stud high-low game or it's a split game or Omaha high-low, what you really want is, it's a magical word called scoop.
Yeah.
Now, in Omaha high-low, I don't have nearly the experience you have, but I know one thing. When the flop comes out, I look at my 4 cards. If I don't have a decent chance of scooping the pot, I am not going to continue with the hand.
Right. Another thing, too, is
now, if I have a lock one way and a chance of scooping, well, then, of course, I'll continue.
There was actually...
but I have to have a lock one way.
Well, look at this. Cheryl raised it with kings, and she's flopped top set, and she's going to bet right out here.
And you know what? Eric might call.
She bets 8.
And Eric might pay her off the entire way. We'll see. I mean, Eric paid off before. He's just king high.
And Eric is drawing dead to running aces here. He needs running aces. And if he gets a deuce, it's big trouble here, Dave. Well, it turns at 10.
Nah, it's not going to do anything for him. Cheryl's going to continue betting. She is not messing around. She's trying to build herself a pot.
He's actually picked up a straight draw now. He gets out of there.
Yeah.
Jack would do it too. There's an interesting article in Bluff. It's actually a chart. And this is how I actually started in Omaha high-low.
That whole point thing?
It's called, I think it's called Hutchinson's point count. It's a way to do a point count in Omaha in terms of starting hands. I actually picked it up from Steve Badger's site way before that thing came out in Bluff a couple years ago at, what is this site, Play Winning Poker?
That means 2-4.
I've never gone to a site.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think it's playwinningpoker.com. And it's over there. And it's a point count system. And if you learn that count system, it'll help you to kind of understand the value. I mean, as you get more advanced, obviously, you don't need a count system.
Cheryl's got kings again. She just keep them.
Yeah, look at this. Twice in a row here.
Twice in a row here, and she's in the big blinds. Now, Cheryl has experience playing no limit. You'll see she'll probably raise it a decent amount. She'll probably make it probably $10 or $15 to go.
Well, we got a little raise here by Eric with 8-9 of clubs, Dave. Well, actually, no, just a limp. I would imagine she's probably going to make this at least 15, right? Especially if the small blind completes. Well, so you've got just the big blind and 1 limper, Dave. Let's see how much she's going to make it. She's going to raise. And she is going to make it 15.
And clearly, she is a poker player.
Right.
She knows how to play the game.
Oh, actually, she makes it 8 more, excuse me. Well, you know what that is? She's raising the pot, though.
Yeah, it's not bad. Remember, this game is not that big.
Right.
$8 is, $15 is almost 15% of your stack.
And you know, with a hand like 8-9 of clubs, How deep is Eric there?
I don't think he's deep enough to call.
Well, he might have 100. He has 100. Well, yeah. Again, you remember this game is just so shallow.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to put in almost 10% of his stack.
Right, with the suited connector.
I don't know if I want to.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to get back this email here from Ben L. Now, Ben L was talking about, if anybody refreshes memory, I'm going to throw this at everybody. The strategy question, the first one was, you had said he was in a 1-2 game, 1-2 no-limit game, where the raises were $30, but you could only buy in for $300. And we were saying that oftentimes you really have to wait and kind of wait out for the big hands. So he came back with another question for us. He said, thanks a lot. The unsigned email was mine. I'm Ben L. from Long Island. I will take into account all the useful information you guys mentioned for the 1-2 game, but are you guys suggesting I should limp re-raise all in with a $300 stack with holdings as weak as ace suited, ace jack, ace queen, ace 10, and king queen? Or should I fold these hands because I know I can't get it heads up or isolate any one position? Generally, those are not hands that you want to be committing $300 with. No, of course not. Now, I will give you another reason, though. If you think you might be able to isolate the maniac with a hand like ace-king or ace-queen, then it might be worth gambling with. It's also a matter of how deep your bankroll is. Can you take a $300 swing and then reach and buy again? If you can't take that kind of swing, well, you really want to wait for, like, jacks, queens, kings, or aces. And with blinds as small as 1-2, you can wait. Be patient. But once again, like I said before, I would really try to get to the right of that maniac. Limp in with your big hand. Let him raise like he always does. Get 3 or 4 callers, and then boom, then you can re-raise. You might get 1 caller from the maniac, and then plus you have the dead money in there as well.
I want to bring up the point here that Tony
Go ahead.
kind of is one of the only players besides Cheryl that's actually making real pre-flop raises. He made it, I think, 15 to go with ace-jack offsuit. He got a call by Eric. And now he's made a $20 continuation bet as he's hit top pair here. And you can see he's got a lot of chips in front of him.
Yeah,
over there.
Well, Eric's.
Yeah.
He is. He's going down the creek with no paddle.
Yeah.
I don't say it out loud or anything like that. But.
Now, I mean, I will say there are times where you can commit a little bit more. Let's say the maniac is raised up to $30 again, and you get a couple of calls, and they look kind of weak, and you don't think they can call your big re-raise.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you can make it 150 to go. Get the call from, say, the maniac, and the other 2 guys are folding, knowing you're committing all your money with a hand as weak as ace-queen, something like that.
Yeah, I think I did. Absolutely. No qualms about it. I went to the seat for that. I'd buy this.
Come on here.
Come on, win it, let's see.
Give the man his time.
Oh, damn, Gino. So.
That was a big slam.
Well, Eric called.
Yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes playing your hand straight up confuses players. Well, Eric's picked up a draw. He can catch a 4 or a 5 on the river. And Tony's going to bet another $20.
That's another 20 here.
I don't know how that came out.
And Eric is going to call again, and Tony's building himself a nice pot here.
Pot is about $80.
Yep. Well, it's actually more than that. It's about 100.
Is it?
The river's a 6.
And Eric misses.
And I think you might put the guy in a weak ace, and you might bet again for value
I
here.
definitely bet one more time.
Or maybe a queen, right? Maybe you bet 20, 40, something like that.
I mean, you look at that flop. I mean, you wouldn't put him on 5s, obviously.
He's going to check behind him.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, though, you know, it looks like if we can get a shot at Eric, Eric's got about $45 here. The pot's 100. I'd probably move in there with ace-jack.
Because if he had ace-queen, you probably would have heard from him already, right?
Yeah.
If he had ace-king,
yeah,
you probably would have heard from him as well.
Email here again from Jared Pondlik. He says, just to follow up on the high stake question, why have you guys not moved up in stakes? Is it because you have other obligations that the extra risk fluctuation is too great? I don't know. I mean, I think we have moved. I'm a little confused about the question.
Yeah, I mean, I started playing professionally, say, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you and I both play pretty much the biggest no-limit game that's spread here on a regular basis all the time.
No, and
right?
like I'm saying, I mean, I've actually consistently moved up.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's more about finding the good game. If the good game is a 5-10 game, I'll play that. If the good game is a 10-20 game, I'll play that.
Right.
And if the good game is a 25-50 game, I might even play that.
Right.
It's really whatever the game is good. I mean, just to give you a kind of a little frame of reference, the 2004 World Series, I went down there, and I was playing in a lot of tournaments, and I didn't really play any no limit, and I was generally playing 30-60 limit hold'em, or 20-40 limit
At the
hold'em.
Bellagio?
Yeah, or even at the Rio or wherever else
Right.
I was. Then last World Series, I was playing primarily 80-160 limit hold'em.
Did you stay in the Rio in 2004?
No, it wasn't at the Rio. It was at down. I
Right,
actually stayed at
right.
the Golden Nugget.
Oh, okay. No, I knew someone would bring that up, so I had to be that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Where was it? In
Right,
2004.
right.
So you actually played at Binion's probably like 24 years.
Actually, Golden Nugget was
Oh, yeah.
played. Here's a little Binion.
Take a look at that chip down here.
Small blind, big blind.
Look at this nice tail of tape here. We got almost $1,000 on the table. Tony, Ted, and Cheryl got the table covered. Let's see how they're doing. Well, the birthday girl is up $60, not bad, and her husband's up $90. Husband and wife team up $150. Jordan, increasing allowance for sure. Sandra's up $50, and the rest of the table is down. And we'll keep track of that throughout the night. But right, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I moved up from 30 to 60, and if I was playing no limit a year ago, I was actually playing more of the 3 to 500 game, while now I'm playing a 10-20 game.
Right.
So.
Right.
Does it go till 10?
So you got a guy who emailed us a bunch of police codes, Dave. He wants us to quiz the police officers at the table. Any of this stuff
God.
any interesting?
They're off though.
I
Leave them
know.
alone. Jeez.
Ace, queen, 6 here. Well, Cheryl's got a...
I mean, that's like the equivalent. Do you want somebody to come to your pool party
Right.
and sit here and start quizzing you on what odds are, what pot odds?
Start asking you questions about...
I'll live for 6.
Asking you poker questions, man?
Well, he didn't say quiz. I said that, but he just basically...
Right. I know. No, we do appreciate the email. Thank you, David.
OBS 330.
Don't you hate when you go all in and 3 people call you? One play all in.
Jack on the turn, and Lee has now made 2 pair. Now, he actually had the best hands. Cheryl still has a flush draw, and now she has a straight draw. She can catch a 10 to win this as well. Actually, no, a 10, well, Sandra would actually have a straight if the 10 were to come, but I'm not sure if Sandra sticks around or not. Let's see. Well, Cheryl's not going to stick around, so. Lee bets $20, and I don't think anybody's going to call this now. Well, actually, Claire's all in.
Yeah, what you got, Claire?
5 on the river, and that's not going to do anything. Claire was actually in real bad shape there. And Lee is going to win this pot.
Okay, actually, you know what the point of this email? This might be a little fun.
Okay, go
He
ahead.
says, ask him what OBS 330 90C means, because that actually means observed gambling with cards on scene. OBS 330 90C. Or OBS 330.
Oh my God.
I was 18 years old.
That is so funny.
They don't have a clue.
Wait.
Preferred driver. I'm a preferred driver.
What's the minimum?
Yeah, whatever. All right, forget it.
Well, there's the guy's license. You see it in
yeah.
5-hole.
20 minutes ago, please see my license.
Someone said it. Connor just told us. Somebody knew it was observed gambling. On premises.
Didn't you say OBS?
It came up the email.
What is it relating to? I don't know.
Someone said it means observed gambling.
Oh, 330 must be gambling.
330?
What does 330 mean?
I don't know. Probably shooting.
I told you to leave these guys
I
alone.
know,
I tell you.
yeah.
Bad taste.
I don't know, an email came in? Is that what it's?
Yeah, you get emails.
Who is?
You guys from people around the world.
Tell him to stop emailing.
See, tell him to stop emailing.
Tell him I'm busy.
Cell phone number?
That's great. That's great.
Tell him I'm too
Hello.
busy. I can't do the world tour. I gotta work.
Tell that Elvis dude to jump in anytime he wants.
Is that right, Ted? Oh, it's on, man. It's on. Ted's calling me out. All in when he bets. Blind all in.
Live at the bike.
Hey, you're
Live, unedited,
Get some free cards,
unscripted,
Eric. E-dog.
raw,
Raw.
sometimes not too pretty.
Oh.
Maria. Good.
Nice email. Nice 2+2 post from, is that Elim?
C. Hargar.
Okay.
He didn't believe about my
Betting $5.
What would you say are the average age of our viewers are?
I mean, I would think it would be somewhat young because I would think that the average age of someone who plays a lot of online poker that might watch us is young. Although most of them, you know, in their 20s.
Okay, that old. Okay.
Although a lot of the guys that come up to us in the casino are older than that. So hey, I watch the show.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I assume that our demographics are what? Maybe like male, mostly male. Obviously, we do have some great female viewers out there, but mostly male, say what, 15 to 45? Yeah, okay. So I was just curious what you thought our average age would be.
I mean, anyone that hasn't been to a casino, I mean, what is the average, like, say, what would you say the percentage of male versus female is in this part? 90, 10%, or is it even more than that?
Probably more than that. Probably 90,
95%.
yeah.
There just aren't that many women that play cards.
They're not.
How do you do that?
They keep sending me new renewals.
This is always why it's always interesting to see how much attention the female poker players get for their looks, even though they might be barely marginal in the real world. But, you know, put them in a card room and they add like 3 or 4 points.
Look at that girl who came in 7th place in the Bellagio World Poker Tournament. What was her name?
Renee, what the hell was her name?
Russo?
Yeah.
Rusi?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
She was okay, right?
I bet you.
I knew her.
She was breathing. She was female.
Vanessa Russo.
She was nothing. I mean, I'm sorry. I know my standards are high, but I mean, I'm sorry. She was. I got to be completely honest. I think if she were just walking in a mall and people walked by her, nobody would look twice. The fact that she was playing poker, everybody started turning around and looking at her. Whatever.
Now, you can't say that about my Liz Lou, though. I think she's hot
Well,
anyway.
Liz Lou is obviously a very pretty girl.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, people would say Evelyn Ng is hot. I don't
never
see it.
saw that. You know,
Yeah,
I love
see it.
those Asians.
She's got long legs. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's a lot to be said about long legs, right?
Yeah, I guess.
People say.
She's tall, right? She's like 6'2".
She's like 6'11".
6'11".
She should actually play center for the Lakers. The Lakers could use a center like that.
Do you eat shredded wheat?
I do now.
Yeah. I actually listened to part of the show from Friday night because I missed that. And quite entertaining. I missed the game. I thought you said that Russ made a call like against Hobb with like Jack 9 or something.
That was the hand that it was like a 2-week-old hand.
Oh, it wasn't from Friday.
No, it wasn't from Friday. It was the hand you were in the booth actually with.
Yeah, no, okay.
14 points 8 minutes ago.
Hobb was in the booth and I was talking to Hobb about that play.
Oh, I see.
That hand.
What's that?
Getting word the clips. It's it's hip to be clipped now. It's hip to be clipped. I actually heard that rap song. Hip to be clipped. It's hip to be clipped. I don't do it justice at all. I gotta tell you, there are a lot of things I can do. There are a lot of things I can't do. One thing I can't do is sing.
$14.
Get a little raise here. It's an all-in raise from Thomas with 7-8 of diamonds. And I want to say it's Claire. No, Claire is not all in.
Yeah, baby.
But Brian is going to move. He's going to call all in here with King Jack.
Well, he's in great shape against Thomas. Thomas has only got 7-8.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Eric threw his hand away, and I can't blame him. I'm not going to call it ace-jack either. But seat number 1, Brian is going to call. Sandra's going to call, and that's going to bring Claire in the pot. And we're going to see this 4 ways times $14. We're looking at about a $60 pot here.
One play all in.
And the flop is 10-9 deuce. Wow, and I got to tell you, not a bad flop if you're in there with 7-8 of diamonds. He's open-ended. Nobody's got a pair. There's the jack, and he makes the straight. Look at that.
All in.
And Brian moves all in, though.
60 to call.
Now, he cannot beat Thomas.
All in. You guys are screwed.
Now, Sandra has a chance to chop it up, but she's going to throw this away. And Brian is in terrible shape. He needs a queen, only a queen, and that's not going to come. And Thomas is going to win the pot with a straight.
Straight right here. Straight. 7, 8, 9, 10, check, baby! Nice! Sweet!
There you go. Send it. Send it to Thomas.
Nice!
Thomas representing the LAPD here quite well. I gotta say, the LAPDs actually have their memorial golf tournament this weekend, Saturday at Rancho Park. It's kind of like a Hollywood thing. Mark Wahlberg's gonna be there. Jose Canseco's gonna be there.
I got to tell you, wine. But I really miss the time when we used to have one day off that was a weekend day and one day off that was a weekday. Because I find myself not being able really to play a lot of golf now.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had a Monday off, man, I could. Rancho Park is 2 minutes from
What
my
if we
house.
just didn't show up on
I'm never
Tuesday?
gonna forget that, dude.
What would happen?
I mean, Rancho Park is literally 2 minutes down on Pico from my house, and we used to go, Larry and I, to different places last summer all the time. And now, to go to, have you ever tried to go to Rancho Park on a weekend?
No,
Are
I
you
would never
kidding
do
me?
it. I mean, I can play in the mornings at Griffith Park.
Right,
but
right,
it's
right.
hard. It's obviously hard for me to get together with you
Right.
or anybody else to play.
Yeah. Have you played any golf this season at all?
I don't play that. Once in a while, I'll go to Griffith Park in the mornings and I'll play.
But you think you might be able to do it more if you,
I mean, our show doesn't start till 7 o'clock.
right, you might be able to do it more if you had a day off during the week.
Well, I can play no matter what. It's really a matter of getting
Right.
together with other people. I mean, because think about it. I don't have to drive into work sometimes till 5 o'clock.
Right.
You usually play before the show starts. I usually play afterwards.
I think, after a round of golf, though, you got to go
Get a
home
race
and
here.
shower and stuff.
Race
Maybe
here
not
with
you.
Tony.
Ace King offsuit.
No, I mean, I pretty much stink anyway, so what's the difference?
I actually like to walk when I'm golfing. I don't know. You usually drive a cart, right?
I like walking,
You lazy ass.
but I find the cart is fun.
Really?
I do. I enjoy it.
Fun.
It's fun. It's kind of like bumper cars.
The funniest thing is that we have our buddy Larry, like he said, like he used to prop here. He wouldn't play if he had to ride. He thought it was a disadvantage to him. If he had to, remember that? If he had to walk. Like, we would pay for 2 carts and he would not ride.
The guy's like 5'3", 250 pounds.
Right,
Come
right.
on, if there's any disadvantages to us.
Yeah. Wasn't that unbelievable sometimes?
He literally, I mean, if you meet Larry Gilbert, and I love him, he's a really nice guy. He is literally, he's like a box, 5 by 5.
Yeah.
And we are heads up here. Eric
Call
against
with pocket threes. A
Ace
big
King with
raise.
threes. L3s are still ahead here.
Yeah.
And you wonder if Eric is putting him specifically on Ace King. And it looks like Tony is going to move all in. And I think Eric's going to call him. I really do. Eric's put to the test here, and he's going to put his chips in there. That's right.
Well, Tony could catch an ace, a king, a 6, or a queen now.
And that's not going to do it, though. And pocket threes hold up. 2 pair, 7s and 3s with a queen kicker, and Eric doubles up.
Oh, Eric.
Nice call by Eric there. Really nice call. Got a nice email here from Riley G. Matthews Jr. Says, I want to do a big shout out to my brothers and sisters in blue. Riley G. Matthews is he's an actor, a poker player, and a retired NYPD police officer.
Oh, great.
Getting your carpool buddy back in the game.
Butt moves over here to seat 1.
How about you get me that?
Got a nice email here from Eli. Says, hey, Bart and Dave, new watcher. I want to say I think I've learned more watching a week of your show than watching 3 years of the World Poker Tour. Can't wait till I'm old enough to put my name on the board. Well, when you are, come on down. I'll buy you a beer. I got to tell you, one of the reasons the World Poker Tour is a great, very entertaining show. No knock against it. But you've got to realize when you're watching poker on TV, it is edited. You are only seeing the ESPN highlights of the game. So you don't see why somebody's bluffing. You don't see the setup. You don't see anything. On our show, obviously, you're seeing everything. We don't edit one iota of the show. Well, big slick versus big slick here, huh?
Yeah, two ace kings.
And it's husband and wife. And Ted is I want to say Ted's a slight favorite because he has the ace of diamonds over Cheryl's king of diamonds, right? So he has 2 flush draws while Cheryl's only got 1, right? Would that make him a...
Well, yeah, he's got the
Right.
diamond.
So he's got 2
dominating.
flush draws to her 1. So that would make him, what, maybe like a 0.5% favorite?
Right, maybe. No, I mean, look. I mean, he's got the diamond dominating.
I mean, if these 2 hands went heads up a million times, Ted's hand would win a little bit, right? Okay.
Because the diamond is dominating.
Why exactly?
But if Ted had ace king with the king of spades, it would be even.
It would be even, right?
Yeah.
But why exactly is Ted a favorite here?
I don't know.
Your first bet is why I did that.
I don't
Don't
know.
act like you can read it. Come on.
No, I wouldn't. No, if that would have been 10 or something.
The computer shows even now that the cards are up because obviously no diamond. is
Right,
gonna count.
exactly.
Yeah?
Unfortunately, our software does not do pre-flop equity. I wonder what the pre-flop would be.
It doesn't do pre-flop equity, huh?
No,
Right? No,
it
never
doesn't do pre-flop. River was an ace, obviously, but look at that. Ted takes it away.
Interesting email here from Vance Woodward.
Ted outplays his wife.
You folded?
Look at that. Ted gets her off her ace king.
He said, I played limit a lot, but seem to be able to make much more money with less variance by playing no limit. However, it seems that as players move up in levels, they play proportionately more limit than at lower levels. What attracts high-stakes players to limit instead of no limit? I guess what the point he's trying to say, Dave, is like really at the high limits. I guess he says there's more like high mix games, like 300, 600 and up mix games, as opposed to high no limit, say maybe 20, 40 or higher. But I don't necessarily think that's true anymore these days.
Well, you've got to realize that a 50-100 or a 25-50 blind no limit game,
Right.
or unrestricted buy-in game,
Right,
sometimes can play bigger
Right.
than a 300, 600 limit game.
right, yeah.
There's really no point in playing like 1,000, 2,000
Right.
no limit hold'em.
Right. Well, I think what he's trying
I
to
guess
get at
that's
is
the
too
point,
is that the high stakes players, remember, they might be more accustomed to playing limit because they've been doing it for so much longer. I mean, if you're up there and you're a pro, they've probably been doing it for at least 10 years. Now, remember, no limit as a cash game spread in a casino really is only about 2 years old. So,
Yeah. I mean, you got to realize the Bicycle Casino is actually the second biggest poker hall in the world. We have the second most tables in the world, and you've got to realize that up until, I want to say, 6 months ago, our biggest game, we rarely even spread a 10-20 game here. We usually only had a 5-10 game.
yeah.
So, we get a raise here from seat number 4. That's Ted. He makes it $6 to go with King 10 of clubs. Call from Claire and a call from Thomas. And the action is over to Tony in seat number 2. He's not going to play. Seat number 3 leaves the small blind. He's not going to play. We're going to see this 3 ways. Actually, I'm sorry, 4 ways. $25 pot.
So he raised it?
Flop is 10-8 deuce. Couple of hearts out there.
Not a bad
Now
play.
Ted has got top pair. And you imagine he's going to put some money in the pot.
Betting 6.
And Pajeto in 2+2 says, Bart and Tuck, if you guys would wake up before the crack of noon, you could get a round of golfing before the show. And actually, I did. I woke up at noon today.
I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, we talk about not being able to get around the golf.
I know.
You don't have to be here until like 6.
Yeah. But remember, I come in though.
Well, take one day off.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true.
Meet me at Griffith Park at 10 in the morning. I'll play with you.
3 player. I was only trying to play against you. I didn't think Eric was going to call.
And look at that. Thomas took one off, and he has hit his gut shot straight now. And it is a 9 of hearts. He has the nut straight right now. He also has an open-ended straight flush draw. And Thomas cannot lose this pot.
What time do you wake up at? 10?
It kind of depends. Like any poker question.
You know, obviously, when you play till like 4 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bet 14.
Actually, most mornings like 9, 9:15.
That means I got fucking aces or something. Yeah. Straight flush. Jack queen.
Sometimes 10.
I'm only playing hands with Cheryl, not with you.
And Thomas is going to take it down. Ted is not going to get involved, obviously. The river was a 3 of hearts.
Thank you, player.
You're right. Like, I could wake up at like 10 one day, go down and play Rancho, 9 or 18 holes, go back and shower, and still be down at the casino by 4, right?
Yeah.
What the hell am I doing?
I don't know.
Hey, sir.
I got to tell you, with our new schedule, it's kind of nice in the sense that I've actually got almost a full day before I come in here.
Hey, get over.
I don't know, probably the one I lost with.
Part's actually pondering this as we're sitting here.
Well, I don't know. I had actually had a discussion with Mo, kind of about you today, because we were just chatting. I know you had a discussion with
You
him.
guys are talking about me?
Well, you know, kind of your down variance.
Talking behind my back?
I don't necessarily think that you might actually not put. The more and more I think about it, you actually might not play enough. Maybe you push it a little too much, because where I'm trying to actually put in 100 hours a month in poker, I mean, you might be at, what, half that?
Yeah, I probably don't play enough.
Yeah.
Telling what I have, yeah. That's
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. It's actually part of the. It was funny. Pondalik actually asked me. He wanted me to continue on my blog, and I'm actually going to finish up my blog tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I will mention. I want to say one thing about that point.
Because I think, you know, you and I probably have similar bankrolls, and if you only play, say, 10, 15 hours a week, and it's only 2 or maybe 4 sessions a week of the 10-20 game. I mean, you're taking a big variential risk there, you know, every time. You know,
You're not playing enough hours to really let the swings come out.
Yeah.
Definitely.
4-way action.
All diamonds out there now. The highest diamond is Cheryl at 5 of diamonds. Got about 25 minutes left in tonight's show.
I think sometimes, too, that with your style, you might thrive in a daytime game where the game is somewhat more passive, whereas at night it can be a little bit more wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I appreciate it.
$10 bet here. Buy seat 4.
One thing we always talk about poker, no matter how good you get, you are never above improving. I mean, the second you can't improve anymore, you're done, as far as I'm concerned. You've always got to be, be open to taking advice here. Thomas way ahead here, obviously, with the ace-queen.
Yeah, Ted actually led out.
Wow, and look at that. And Ted makes 2 pair, but it's the 4th diamond out there. I don't think either player can take any heat.
No.
To me,
And Thomas double checks his cards. Now he knows he does not have a diamond out there, and his hand is no better than a bluff catcher.
Are you still playing, Lee?
Although I will say something that Mo, or I will tell you what Mo was saying. That I actually have to disagree with him. Again, we were talking for about 20
Jack of
minutes.
spades on the river. It went check on the turn. And Ted is going to win this with 2 pair, believe it or not.
I know. Every time you buy a drink and take the change in chips, it doesn't make you win.
And I'm not sure if there's any value to betting here for Thomas. I mean, I don't know if he can bluff anybody out. I really don't. Not in this game.
You'll see it on TV.
And it's a $20 bet. I mean, Ted can only
Ted's gone for time. Timeout.
Ted can really only beat a bluff, but I'm not sure if he's going anywhere. And the pot is about $60, 20 to call. He's getting 3 to 1 on his 3 to 1 on his money here.
you know what? In all honesty, I get 10 queen, but I can't bet it because I don't have a diamond.
And he throws it away. Nice bluff by Ted. Look at that.
How is it a bluff?
What do you mean, how is it a bluff?
Ted, he's got ace-3.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
No.
Oh, I butchered that. I'm sorry.
Neither did he.
I mean, I don't know if I would bet there with ace-3, but I should try to bet someone off a low diamond. Like
Well, I don't mind it if you're laying somebody, if you're getting split out by 5 diamonds. For some reason, I actually thought Ted had the ace-queen and Thomas had the ace-3. Well,
Anyways, you'll find this interesting.
I butchered that.
Again, what Mo said, I actually disagree with him. He told me, he's like, I think David needs to
Thanks,
play.
Isaac. I appreciate that.
This is what Mo said about. He said David needs to play a little more like you. I think he said David is sometimes a little bit too loose and not so solid. Where David, he was actually talking about that hand with Ace King that you had a couple nights ago when you pushed all in. He said, and this is Mo saying, yeah, I might push all in because I have money, I have a bigger bankroll.
Yeah,
whereas you with a smaller bankroll should play differently, and I don't know how. I don't buy that at all.
Yeah.
Right? You know.
Well, Mo and I always have these conversations.
Right.
And Mo always seems to say, well, if I'm up $3,000, I play different than if I'm down $3,000.
Right.
And he also says, if I have a bankroll, I play it this way, but if I don't have a bankroll, I want to play it a little more cautiously. And I go, no.
Yeah.
If I don't have the bankroll to play in that game, I'd rather play in a smaller game
Right.
and play it the same way.
Right. No, I don't agree with what he said there. I don't know how bankroll can affect the way that you play in that game.
It shouldn't. If it does, then you're playing too high.
Yeah. Because I think the
And I
point
gotta
he was
tell you,
trying to make was that, he needs to play a little more solidly kind of like you, because maybe I'm a little more conservative. But at the same time, I was like, if that's your style, that's your style. If it makes, not with a bankroll consideration. Bankroll has got nothing to do with it.
Really nothing. Yeah. It's not a matter of, well, if you have $300,000 behind, I move all in with Ace King.
Right.
But if you only have $100,000 behind, well then, wait, you might want to just check call.
Right. That's what he said. He said, I would check call with your, this is what he said, I would check call with your guys' money, but with my money, I'd push in. That's what he said. With the amount of money I have, I can push in, but you guys should check call.
And it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And all I said to him, I go, regardless of bankroll, I'm going to get all my money in as a 4-to-1 favorite.
Right.
You know what? The guy sucks out of me. He sucks out of me.
Yeah.
And seat 1, Brian is all in. He has pushed him to the test, and Thomas has only got ace-jack here.
He thinks what I have. He thinks he has.
Brian is on a bluff. Thomas has the best hand, but how can Thomas call here? What a play by Brian. Really, I mean, I think he's put Thomas on a big ace, and Brian is trying to take it away from him with the king. It's not a play many amateurs will make. I mean, it really is. This is a pretty big play. I like it.
No, actually, I don't have 4-7.
And can Thomas make this call? No, I don't
He
think.
better, because I'm watching tonight.
And there it is. Look at that. What a bluff. Come on, Brian, show it to him. Show him the bluff, Brian, with king high. And the turn would have been a deuce, the river a 9.
Oh, look at this.
And ace-jack was good.
I folded 3-4. Okay, we got to all sing, right?
Wow, look at the size of that piece of cake. My
That's
gosh.
huge.
Okay, we'll start out.
They got a great bakery here.
We do, yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cheryl. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Yeah, we've seen it all here at Live at the Bike.
Damn, Gina, what's up?
I think Donna gave her a plate with like no fork. Just gave her like a big piece of cake. Here, eat it with your hands. Oh, there's a fork on there.
Look at that. She takes the spoon up and she shows it to you. That's right. Stick that where the sun don't shine. And check this out, like 2+2. The station actually comes up and he goes, the ace diamonds, king clubs versus the ace spades, king diamonds, is actually a 0.8% favorite.
Right,
over the long haul.
50.4 to 49.6.
That's what we figured.
You're getting your money's worth of food, though.
Anyway, what I was going to say is, we were talking about propping before, okay? You were talking about propping, and we were saying that one of the things that's really good about propping is it gets you on a schedule.
Yeah.
And I will say one of the negatives of me getting off propping is it actually is taking me off that schedule.
Yeah, you don't necessarily play as much, right?
And I'll say one thing. Having other commitments, having a house and being married, it does present a challenge to get my 25, 30, 40 hours of poker in a week. I know you said you want to get 100 hours in
I
a
shoot,
month.
I shoot for 100 hours a month, which works to be. I actually play a little more than that. I try to shoot for an average of 27 to 28 a week. So with this show, I'm working about 45 to 50 hours a week. I'm doing the show for about 20 and playing for about 28. Which I don't think is that much playing.
Yeah,
it's not going overboard.
And I think, on the other hand, I think I'm probably more like, I think I'm playing probably closer to 15 hours a week.
Right.
60 hours a month, and that's probably not enough.
Yeah. 8-7 deuce here, Rainbow.
And I will admit, being honest, I'll say that it probably does put a little bit of pressure on me in the sense that I feel like when I'm only playing 15 hours a week.
You might need to play the biggest game available, right?
Well, not only the biggest game, but I feel like I don't have the time to be patient.
Right.
And sometimes I'm pushing small edges almost too much.
Yeah, really pushing, or say taking almost an even money big gamble. Whereas
because I don't know if I'm going to be playing that long.
Right.
Where if I'm sitting there for 8 hours, I know I don't need to play this pot.
Right.
I'll see 100 more hands. Eventually, I can get my money in being a huge favorite. And when Mo was talking to me about that, I said, I really put a lot of weight into that. That makes a lot of sense to me. The whole other thing, though, is playing differently with how much bankroll. I go, what does that mean? But that's always been Mo's kind of. You and I and Mo have always kind of disagreed about that.
Well, Eric had a monster hand on the turn. Pair and a flush draw, and he's good here with the
There it is.
Two pair and a flush draw.
Oh, man, this guy's become a fool.
Oh, no, he didn't. I thought he was
just
7-8 for a second.
the 8.
Yeah.
And he moves in here on the river. Well, maybe he thinks he's going to get somebody with the queen out.
Well, he might think he needs to get somebody with an 8 out, a bigger 8.
wasn't that funny.
Button moves over here to seat 6.
You keep bringing you double waters.
Once again, we're live at the bike. I'm David Zuckerman here with Bart Hansen. You can catch us every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. You don't want to miss tomorrow night's action. Tomorrow night's going to be a lot of fun. It's our big game, double fist night. 10-20 blind, unrestricted buy-in game. And we've got some great players in the game tomorrow night. We're going to have Jason Katsutani in the game. We're going to have Mo in the game. We're going to have Carlos in the game, fresh off a $29,000 win last night. And guess who else we're going to have in the game? We are going to have none other than Bart Hansen in the game tomorrow night. Tell everybody, come on down and watch Live at the Bike tomorrow night. I'm going to be doing the show solo. What I'm going to be doing is same thing I did last Friday. I'm going to be bringing in some guest commentators. I'm going to have Corporation Mike in the booth, Jason Katsutani in the booth. Should make for a lot of fun.
You're next, Gerald.
Oh, this is good.
Unfortunately, Dimitri won't be here.
I'm like Chad Johnson, baby. I got
Apparently, he's been barred for 2 weeks.
I got a list.
Not sure what he did.
Let me get my pen out.
But unfortunately for me, he's been barred for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're all on my
He's pretty much the only person you've been able to beat recently, right?
Some of you got to go.
He's the lifeblood of my game. I swear.
Sandra raced it with ace queen of
He
clubs.
has single-handedly paid my mortgage this entire year.
It's kind of like.
King 9 jack here, a couple spades.
Well,
And looks like Brian is going to bet 10 here with ace 3.
Well, Brian, he was quiet the first couple of hours of the show, and he's really got his bluffing shoes on now. Did I just say that? Bluffing shoes? How lame is that? That's like the gayest thing I've ever said here on the show. His bluffing shoes? That is just terrible.
Yeah, how about stick it in my ass and call me Mary?
That's lame, though. Bluffing shoes? I'll stand by everything I say, but that I got to tell you, that is probably the worst thing I've ever said. His bluffing shoes. And ace queen is good here.
No one has a pair, but it kept.
And she's been calling down the whole way. I mean, how can you bet?
Now it might just go check. Or does she think she needs to bet here to win?
Well, it's funny. And Brian bet the flop, he bet the turn. She called him both times. She probably thinks he's got something, right?
The way this game's been going, she might bet here and he might call. And she might be value betting with ace queen here.
Don't worry about it.
Well, hey, it's a great value bet then.
I'll put it on your tabs.
And it looks like she's betting $20.
He paid up.
That's right. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. I know. Let's see if he can put on his bluffing shoes. I can't believe I said that.
Victorious Clipper bet winner.
Do me a favor, email me. Let me know if that is the gayest thing you've ever heard me say.
He check raises all in as a bluff, Dave.
There he is. He put on his bluffing shoes. There you go.
Dave, I gotta tell you, this is a really rare play. We almost, I can count the amount of times on my hand that we've seen this on the whole history of Live at the Bike. The check raise bluff on the river with nothing.
She thought she was bluffing.
Yeah.
He snuffed it out. He knew she was bluffing, and he has re-bluffed her with the ace 3 here. This is a great bluff. This really is. This is one for the ages. I got to tell you.
I wonder if she calls.
This Brian guy, he has stepped up his game to a whole nother level.
No, she's
And
out
he
of it.
gets Sandra out of the game.
Come on, what you gotta
Show the bluff, Brian. Come on, show it. Show the bluff. And he shows the bluff.
Oh! This is funny. A post here on 2+2 by Eastern Bloc. He says, another way to look at that ace-king versus ace-king hand, husband has ace-king offsuit, wife has ace-king offsuit, shared bank account, wife wins 100% of the time.
I say yes.
Yeah.
I agree. Although it's interesting what he said here. Okay. So it's a split pot 97.09% of the time.
Right.
Ace King with the two flushes has a 1.82% chance of winning it.
Right.
The Ace King with only one flush draw has 1.09% chance of winning it.
But the wife wins 100% of the time because it's usually communal.
Right.
Right. Communal money.
Although in this day and age, I got to tell you, the wife is usually, or not usually, but more often than not, making just as much money as the husband anyway.
On threes.
He beat me a hand before that for like another $25 too.
3 and what?
All in?
All in. She didn't sign
All in.
3-7, that's right.
Wow.
And we got an all-in bet here from Claire. Claire's moved all in with ace deuce. She does have the best hand. She's moved in with the best hand. Eric is giving her the look, though. He's got deuce 4. Normally you'd be calling it all in with deuce 4 thinking you've got live cards, but his cards are not live. He's in bad shape, but he's going to call anyway.
7.
Brian is not going to call. Cheryl's going to call, though, with 9-5 of diamonds. And everybody knows the wonderful properties of 9-5. If you believe in it, it always comes. Obviously, Cheryl's a big believer in the 9-5. Sandra's going to call this. And we're seeing this 4 ways. Pot is about $55. And
Well, Claire, the all-inner. She's got ace deuce. She's got top pair here.
she can't protect her hand, though, because she is all in. She's got to dodge some cards.
And everybody takes a card. Turns 9.
Well, Cheryl's picked up a pair. Sandra also has a pair of 6s.
Yep, so Claire is going to need to dodge, obviously, a 9, a 6, a 5, or a king
Right.
on the river.
Exactly.
Well, actually, now Sandra's going to bet, though. She's going to bet here on the side. Now, Cheryl's got the best hand, but she's going to call.
Well, between the two of them, yeah.
And here we go to the river. Oh, the river's a 7. Claire escapes here.
Yep. Cheryl's going to win some money on the side, though.
What you got, Claire? You got something? Aces.
Claire's going to actually. Claire's going to triple up here.
Yeah.
Oh, no? What's your
Nice.
Oh, so she'll...
Email here from Mike. Hillsboro, Oregon. Says, what limits did you guys start at? What was your bankroll? Thanks, guys.
I started at 3-6 hold'em, 4-8 hold'em.
So write the name
What did you
down
start
there.
at? That's pretty much what I started at. My first real experience to limit hold'em was 4-8 limit hold'em at the Bellagio.
Yeah.
Like 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
I think I really started like playing some small tournaments, and then when I'd get knocked out, I'd play. This was maybe. Did they have like $100 no limit game in some places
No.
like 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah, maybe 3 or 4 years ago they might have. I mean, I will say I actually had. Well, actually, if you want to even go further back than that, when I used to play home games with my friends, obviously growing
Yeah.
up. But my first experience in a casino was actually playing 1 to 5 spread stud. 1 to 5 spread
Great.
limit stud.
Yeah. I'm still surprised. I mean, they actually have low limit stud high games here. Like they have a 1-2 and a 2-4 game that goes here all the time. Stud high.
Some people still like stud. I mean, I actually liked. I used to play in Atlantic City. 1 to 5 spread.
Stud is sort of big over in the East Coast, like at Foxwoods. It's stud high.
It's a great game. It still is a great game. There's a lot of ways to play
I mean,
it.
Rick Nebbiolo was telling me, like, you look at 3 years ago,
Whoever it is.
Atlantic City and Foxwoods, it used to be 80% stud, 20% hold'em, and now it's different, obviously. Obviously, in the West Coast here, there's no studs really at all.
Obviously, people that are coming into the game are watching it on TV and they're going, "Ooh, no limit! I want to move all in."
Right.
No, Phoenix will lose. 14 games they've played.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does, dude.
They're
Yeah,
deep.
it does.
You know why they can play 14 games? Because they're so freaking deep.
No. Well, they can't play 21.
Yeah, they can.
No,
Brian
they
with top pair
Mavs
here.
can't.
Well,
San
you'll lose another
Antonio's gonna
$10.
take- San Antonio's going to take the race. Okay. I'll go with you.
Is Dallas up
Bet
3-2?
15.
Dallas up 3-2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dallas up 3-2.
Are they?
Dallas is
It's
up
not
3-2.
3-3?
No, it's 3-2. 3-2.
Is that too much?
I'm all in.
It's depth, man.
18.
And that's why we say this Clippers going to win.
Oh, I noticed that, Ronnie.
We'll take our
I didn't even hear. I'm not even hearing what you say, but I know what you're gonna say because I noticed it this morning in the bathroom. I'll get to it in a second. I had a revelation in the bathroom.
They might. They might.
Once again,
The
more
actually,
information than we need to know.
The America's Poker Classic, which starts on Monday here at the Bike, kind of a smaller tournament series, is all no limit hold'em. Every single event, no limit hold'em.
Well, there you go. So if you want to play, we've got basically it's no limit every night. It just ranges in price from
Right.
100 up to as high as 500.
Yeah, 500 is the final.
Yeah.
Got a couple 300 with a rebuy.
300 the rebuy, 200 the rebuy,
Yeah.
a couple of bounty no limits.
Well, the funny thing is I don't blame. I mean, with the casinos trying to bring in side action, you take a look at the limit hold'em tournaments. I mean, you don't get anybody at all for limit
Yeah, you
hold'em
don't.
anymore. I mean, it's almost limit hold'em almost gets less than the other games that they might put out, like Omaha or Stud High Low, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Cheryl's got ace queen suited here in seat 5.
Supposedly, I think we're going to owe royalties to Mildred and Patty Hill because of that happy birthday song.
Because the people sang the happy birthday song?
Yeah, well, it's on our show. I don't know. We're on the internet, though, aren't we exempt? Uh-oh, we're in trouble.
How about 9 million?
Lee is going to raise here to 6. Let's see if Cheryl here. Remember what I said about a $6 raise? That's like a limp. She's going to re-raise here. I really actually like the play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's re-raised here to 12. Again, if you're going to call a small raise with a hand as good as ace-queen or ace-king, you have to treat it almost like a limped pot.
Yeah, if the flop comes out like ace-5-4 and you take
Yeah.
any heat, you're probably behind.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, she does not have the best hands.
Tony's going to play with pocket 3s here.
And you imagine Lee is going to call also pocket 10s. And I got to tell you, the one thing about ace-queen here is now she can really represent an ace, a king, a queen, or a jack.
How about 10s full here for Lee? It's a
Well,
nice
she's
flop.
not going to be able to represent much here.
No. Lee was the pre-flop raiser. And he checked it over to Cheryl, and she's going to bet 20.
Well, she's going to take a shot at it. And wow, she's going to get called by Tony.
Wow, by pocket 3s.
Yeah,
And this guy shoves in.
Well,
He
it's an
is
easy
moving.
laydown, obviously, for ace-queen.
Smack.
Well, no slow play in him, huh?
That's what I thought. Go.
Again, you know, in that spot, I might, if I was going to play it like that, I might min-raise the flop, right, as opposed to shove. But
Yeah, Lee,
Yeah.
Lee's showing you how to do it on the LAPD.
See that 11, huh?
I'm not sure if what kind of policeman he is, or if he's dispatcher or not.
So you gonna watch this thing go?
although it's funny, though, would you ever actually get the money in on the flop with a hand like that? If that actually hand played out that way, where you raised and you had a real re-raiser,
Is that yours?
and you really think that person has maybe aces or kings. I mean, could you actually get the money in to make it look to your opponent like you have an overpair, but if they have aces, they're definitely going to call, right?
Yeah, well,
You know
that's
what I
the
mean?
whole thing. I mean, a lot of players
Yeah.
would look at it. Let's say Corporation Mike or somebody. Let's say a good player was in seat 5 with aces there,
Yeah.
and a player like that moved all in. They might be sitting there going, "Wait a second. If you had a deuce,
I think
you wouldn't. If you had a
wouldn't have
deuce,
been in there anyways.
you wouldn't make that
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
If you had tens full, you wouldn't make that play. You probably have jacks, queens, or kings,
No, I wasn't expecting
right?
it at all.
Yeah. I think I might. I mean, I think with aces there, you might have to call because, especially against a guy that might not be that strong, they could be making that play with queens, jacks, and kings, right?
That's why it's a good play. It really
Yeah.
is a good play by Lee there. Unfortunately for him, Cheryl only had ace high.
Like if Cheryl had kings there, I don't think she would have gotten away from it.
No, I don't think so either.
Well, I just got lucky with that flop. They don't happen every day. Flop a full house. That's like flopping a flush. Unbelievable.
And speaking of the Poker Classic, it actually starts May 22nd at 4:15 p.m.
Yeah, all the events are
That's
at
next
4:15.
Monday. Yeah, so you go to thebike.com and you can check out the schedule. But if you like No Limit Hold'em, you'll like it. And it goes from May 22nd all the way through June 4th. Should be well over $250,000 in prizes.
It's in my top 10 gayest things I've ever heard. Flopping shoes. Thomas has got a queen here.
I mean, at least I admit it, you know what? I mean, I'm man up about it. At least I come out, the second I say it, I come out and admit how gay it was. Give me some sort of credit. Exactly. I can't defend it, you know? I said it. It's out there forever.
$600.
No, and you know what? I don't even want anybody to let it go. I want to get emailed about it. I want to get berated about it. I might even use it. That's right.
What's his name again? Jody?
My name?
Joey. No, you're not Joey. That's Joey. Tony, I'm sorry. Tony. I don't know. I can't remember that name. It's my nickname, everybody, 'cause I can't remember.
Really? What does that mean? Someone explain it to me.
Thanks for the email here from Richard.
What?
Richard's actually sent us a link. He said, what bluffing shoes might look like. And I wish I could, obviously this is a radio show, this is an internet show. I can't see what we see, but it's on our internet.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Couple of like clown shoes.
The funny thing is, if I actually didn't bring it up, I don't think anybody would have noticed.
I know.
Because it went right by you.
I'm not gonna chase it any longer.
I know Isaac picked up on it, but he was gonna let it fly.
That guy's got to put that up on the thread so everybody can see it.
Yeah, Richard, go over to 2plus2.com and
Yeah.
Way too rich. We super
Thomas is gonna win this. I don't think Tony's gonna get involved here. Is he? Nah, it's gonna go check, and Thomas takes it down with queens. Queens and threes in the jack kicker.
Straight, right?
Got about 7 minutes left in tonight's show.
Was that a jack in the river? No, it was, it would have paid my straight.
I tipped the dealer.
Button moves over to seat number 2. Small blind in this game is $1. Big blind is $3. And it is Cheryl's birthday in seat number 5.
45 minutes. 10 minutes.
Probably tomorrow morning. He said if they needed, they were going to call us out.
And Cheryl's going to be under the gun. Speaking of under the gun, if you want to check out my blog, go to liveatthebike.com. Go to Tuckman Under the Gun. I actually started it during last year's World Series. So you can scroll down and go all the way back to then. There's some photos and stuff. And my latest update was yesterday. I'll probably be updating it again tomorrow.
More to call?
Yeah.
Nice email here from William Frick. Thanks a lot, William. Always good to get an email from good old
He
William.
doesn't want none of this. No, he doesn't want it. I want to keep playing with him. I don't want him to leave.
I gotta tell you, we have to incorporate bluffing shoes into a real game too. That's gotta be a good thing. Like on a Wednesday night game.
Well, have you ever seen
Mike's got his bluffing shoes on
Hey,
tonight.
have you ever seen the shoes Barry wears? How gay are those?
Yeah.
Those are bluffing shoes. I mean, the funny thing is, Mike actually points them out all the time. Corporation Mike looks at Barry and goes, "Man, where did you get those shoes? You got to be kidding me."
Three-way action here.
Maybe we'll sell them. We should sell them at Live at the Bike.
Yeah.
I know we sell T-shirts now. We can sell bluffing shoes. Yeah, I'm always thinking, man.
King Jack 4 here.
Ooh, there's 2 pair there. Thomas backs into 2 pair.
Ace is up.
And look at that. Thomas is going to slam the chips in the table. Usually strong means weak, but you know what? Strong means strong.
8:15.
Start bouncing around.
And I don't think Sandra's going to get involved now. She's going to throw away third pair. Nice lay down by Sandra. And Thomas takes it down with 2 pair.
Email here from David Gladstone. He says, let's get to a chip count first. I don't think we need to.
He had 2 pair, right? I'm glad I didn't play that.
Fair,
Late.
ace 4.
I would have had Jack.
There we go. 920 on the table. Brian, Ted have the most, 200.
Oh, I hope the commentator got that great.
And let's see how they're doing.
Excuse me,
That's some
Unfortunately for our birthday girl, she's down $20. But Ted is up 100. So the family's up 80.
boy, that lady was rough, man.
And I think we're missing kind of the person that should be up on top there, which would be Dropbox or Rake or something.
Yeah, you notice there's only a couple people up and most of them are down.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, at this low level, they're playing for fun. They're having a good time.
Right.
Not really a place to win a lot of money.
So I email here from David Gladstone. He said, I'd be very surprised if you could find an East Coaster who started playing poker before 2003 who didn't start playing stud. I remember my first Hold'em experience vividly during the 1998 U.S. Poker Championships. I thought it was the dumbest game ever and vowed never to play it again. Glad I changed my mind. There you go.
I mean, not only did most of the games I play were stud, but even when I played my home games with my buddy, they were variations of stud, generally.
Black Mariah.
Yeah, Black Mariah. You play. I mean, we used to play like some sort of 5-card draw games. But I remember the first time somebody actually introduced like a community card game, we were all like, "What is that? That's so weird.
Right.
What are you doing, man?" Nobody's got a 9 here. Nobody's got a deuce.
I mean, I got to tell you, Hold'em though is probably the
Nobody's
easiest.
got a clue. What?
The easiest game to play. Don't you think?
Huh?
Hold'em is probably the easiest game to learn, actually.
Definitely the easiest game to learn.
No, that's not funny.
What does Mike Sexton say? Always?
Second to learn, so, yeah, lifetime to master.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Well, backdoor flush here for Brian in seat 1.
It actually is true in the sense that it does. I mean,
Okay.
I taught my mother-in-law this game. My wife and I taught our mother-in-law this game in maybe
Remember
10
the
minutes.
Jack of Diamonds, Ronnie?
15 minutes. Yeah. It's the computer, not me. How many times have we heard that?
Eric bet with ace high, and Brian's raised with the flush. So what are you saying about your
I was
mother-in-law?
saying, I mean, she learned the game in 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
She was sitting next to Chris Ferguson, Howard Lederer, and Doyle Brunson playing poker with them after knowing how to play for 15 minutes. Obviously, she's not an expert.
Email here from Mike in Hillsboro, Oregon. Again to say, where are you guys in the 2+2 forums? If you actually head over to Live at the Bike, you can actually click on our website and look over as, I think it's, what is it, at SCNAS? Or how to interact with us? What is it? How to interact with us. Yeah. And that gives you an explanation as to how to do that. 2plus2.com spelled out. Go over to under Tournament Poker, World Poker Tour, etc.
Yeah. But they're definitely the best way, obviously. Go to our website, left-hand side, click on how to interact with us, and the link will take you there.
I lost it a long time ago.
This is the last hand of the night here, Dave.
Got a nice email here, somebody wondering about our schedule. And unfortunately, our schedule kind of does shift. Our Wednesday and Friday nights are almost always the big no-limit games. But Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays have kind of been up in the air lately. So please do bear with us.
This is what? Means you're from what? West Virginia?
It's legal in West Virginia.
We're first cousins once removed.
Yes.
This would be,
Because you're my mom's cousin.
I'm your mom's first cousin. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Looks like it's limped around here, Dave.
This is it, last hand?
Yep.
Well, a lot of kings. The odds are a king will not fall. And Cheryl's got live cards. And there's the king. What the heck do I know?
Ace king.
Let me see what I got here.
Well, Thomas has got the best hand. King, queen.
Yeah, well, it's an easy hand for Cheryl to get away from here. She's got a gut shot, but I can't imagine her getting involved. And Thomas has got to slam some chips in there.
Well, just a call here by Thomas.
Oh.
Well, Cheryl's got a gut shot. It's a rainbow board to the 6, and she overcalls here.
Well, if she hits her 6, she's going to make some money.
Yeah.
Come on, 6, for the birthday girl. Here it is.
Well, that's a 4.
Well, 2 pair there for...
Yeah, Lee out-turns Thomas.
Yeah. And he's in position.
Well, Sandra looks like she's going
to continue betting King Deuce here. She's got to realize that you get that many calls, your kicker is probably in trouble, isn't it?
She bet 6, and now Thomas is going to raise. And now Lee just calls.
And Cheryl's going to throw it away. I hope a 6 doesn't come now.
He is now. He heard you were coming in, so he...
And I got to tell you, if Thomas checks the river here, you have to bet if you're Lee. I'm surprised Lee. Well, you know what? I don't mind not
Sandra
raising.
is drawing dead. She cannot win this pot, unfortunately, for her.
Here we go to the river.
And there's an ace. And that's somewhat of a scary card, but not really.
Well, you don't necessarily put somebody on ace king. I got to tell
you might put somebody on ace 5 or ace 8.
Yeah, but you know what? It was a bet and a raise. I bet king 4 here.
If it checks to me, I bet. But if he bets into me, I might just call this. I don't know. We'll see. Depends how much he bets. He only bet $6. I'm going to raise that. If he bets $6, I'm going to make that at least 20. Pot's big enough. I'm going to raise for value. But he's only going to call this.
You too.
And wow, Sandra's going to overcall with the king deuce, and all 3 players are going to turn over king, but Lee is going to take it with 2 pair. What a way to end the night! Real exciting night of Live at the Bike. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, that's going to do it for us tonight. Join us tomorrow. I won't be in the booth. I'll actually be at the table. I think I'm going to go ahead and lock up seat 8, like you actually said, because now more and more I think about it. You're right. If I actually have position on a guy like Jay or Mike, it actually might be better. Not, I think so. Maniac.
I mean, you've got to know they're going to be raising every single time, but at least you know what you're at.
Right. So stick around. See us tomorrow. Of course, tonight's show is brought to you by Shredded Wheat.
Yeah. Not only for cereal, you can dip them in olive oil.
Thank you.
Smother them on your favorite.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Or there.
It's here. It's big. And it's It's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.